because that stupid mute button was pressed. What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. It is Famine from Famine Studios. I apologize. I've been training under Dom. At least this time I made it to the show. Can you hear me now, boys and girls? Sound good? Sound yes? There we are. So, as I said, it is Friday. I've been training under Dom from Toy Domination. At least I made it to the show on time. I can't win them all. But as always, anybody who's joining for the first time and you're watching the replay, please be sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you guys can catch the next live. You can join the chat where we do have fun. Let's go ahead and say hello. Bjorn beat me here. I think he tripped me in the parking lot. He may have tipped the guy not to let me in the gate, but we are here. We are working. And let's get you guys set up a little bit of a better angle. And we've got Shane here. Hello, Shane. Welcome. And then we've got Red. What's going on, Red? Andy brought coffee. Appreciate that. So start off on the sad note. We did lose Carl Weathers today. Was very unfortunate and sad news to hear. He played Grief Karga on the Mandalorian show, I should say. And he was a very, very talented director. A great actor. He was a former football player, linebacker, I believe, for the Los Angeles Raiders. Apollo Creed and Rocky. He was Dylan in Predator, which is one of those films that's just so, developmental to who I am. You know, it helped shape the things that I like and don't like. So, you know, I've got Wayland Yutani stuff hidden in the back here, and there's Wayland Yutani stuff in there, which isn't strictly Predator, that's Alien, but it's the same universe now. You get what I'm trying to say, right? So just bummer on that, but he really contributed to a lot of the lore in Star Wars and one of the best parts of that show. So, you know, it's a seltzer, a Poland Spring. I sprung for the little more expensive than grocery store brand for Carl, so cheers to that. Yeah. But today we are going to be working on the wonderful, wonderful Hamster Hut that we started on. This is going to be the proxy storefront for Famine's business in Gimmick. It is the Rusty Jackalope Provisions Company, and this is going to be the building for that in Gimmick. So we're going to doctor this thing up. We're going to put some paint on this. We're going to put some details on first today. We're going to be cracking away on that. As you guys can see, maybe you can't see, maybe you can't tell, but there's something missing right here. I took that black cart, I did some rearranging, and now I've got things right where I need them, but it's out of the way, so I'm not hitting it while I work. Frees up some space there, so I can kind of, move. I talk with my hands. It's a little easier not to have something there, so I'm excited about that. But we got this bad boy to work on today. How is everybody doing? Sound off in the chat. What do you got going on this week? We made it to Friday. Turn this to a more gentler, warm tone. Well, there we go. Nice, gentle, warm tone. All right. So we've got the dogs here. They're lounging around and circling my feet, trying to get anything that I've got. And I thought, you know, 6 streams ago. Yeah, I've been working on that. You got it right here. Actually, that's going to be something we're going to work on in between while paint was drying and things like that. But I've got it mostly gray bleed. I think I want to add a few more wires before we put down some primer and move forward. Haven't started on Dom's yet, but I do have the pieces for that. He and I talked about what he could look like, what he could benefit from today from a portal. So that's going to be coming down the pipe. He was Chubbs and Happy Gilmore. Absolutely. Action Johnson, Action Jericho Jackson too. And he was also Carl, Action Carl on Toy Story, and in the animated, it's all animated, but the television Toy Story short that they did for NBC, I think it was. because it was on network TV. Red's making another doorway. Excellent to hear. Cowman, you don't need anything over there on that end table, buddy. So I thought we would do something fun for the dogs and potentially Snowflake if she makes her way in here. She hasn't been wanting to hang out in here while I'm streaming. Okay. Gotcha. Make sure you drop your handle for Instagram in the chat. Anybody who's new or looking for people to follow in world building and customizing, start asking people their handles in the main chat. They will drop them down there. Let me go ahead and get you guys the other exciting thing that happened this week is I launched my TeePublic store. They are on sale right now. T-shirts are $16 for the next 2 days, 6 hours and some change. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to drop this in the chat room here. And go ahead and paste Old Famine. There you guys go. You can pick one of those up. The awesome Provisions Company design was drawn up out of my concept from Grime City. So be sure to check out Grime City, also known as District 3 on Instagram. Be sure to check him out. And we'll go ahead and I'll just, take you guys over to the storefront. Wasteman, what's happening, my friend? What's happening? We're going to share screen, and we're going to go to this tab right here. Here we go. So we got the wonderful store. We got through. I said, take me to my storefront. You think this thing would listen? So like I said, we've got the Rusty Jackalope Provisions Company shirt. That one is, there's more than 2 sold. This thing takes ages and a half to update, but I was the first purchase of 2, and I've gotten emails all day. So we've got that one there. We've got the Jackalope Splatter mug. I don't know why it says t-shirt, because I actually don't have it available as a t-shirt right now. The background design doesn't jive well with the gray that they have. But we've also got this logo as a shirt, so you can get that. You can also get that on a couple other items. This, you can get it on damn near every item, baseball tees, you name it, we've got it. So, hit it up here. I love this background color. Another good colorway with this is this yellow. It really stands out. It doesn't hurt, but that's the neutral color I picked. I always get their classic shirt. They are soft. They're well made. They don't shrink in the dryer, which is nice. And if you sign up now, I know that they ask you for your email and number for text to get 30% off too on your order. So can't hurt, right? You want to make save a little bit of cheddar and also get a cool shirt or a mug or whatever. Dig on that. So be sure to check that out. But that was my little spiel for that. Now, as far as the dogs go, so we got the dogs. I'm thinking, anybody that buys a coffee tonight, it's set for $3, cheaper than a cup of coffee in most places. Anybody that picks up one of those tonight, I'm going to give the dogs a treat. They've been pretty good today, and they've earned it. Nobody ate anything while I cleaned up my room. And I say cleaned up my room when I completely rearranged this, took everything out, and made some changes. But they are being good dogs, so we can reward them with some delicious treats, and it'll be fun for everybody. So let's get started on the project of the day. As I said, where we last left off, I had given this its final coat and stippling. And I'll give you guys a better look at the texture there. It catches in the light. That's what we got going on. The top, really heavy on the texture. Same with the sides and the front. As far as the detailing goes, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to take this front right here, right? And I want to we'll use some EVA foam. We'll kind of do like the Millennium Falcon, how it has the padding around the door frames. I like that idea. And we're going to come up with some type of framing around this window. And then maybe we'll add some chimney pieces or some pipes for whatever, duct work. Excuse me, damn. I've got greeblies we can add on for like space air conditioners or little like portable generators. Who knows? But we'll be working on this, and maybe as some paint dries or some glue dries, we can put a little time on the portal. It's going to be a long stream, so make sure you grab your beverages. If you got some popcorn, put your feet up or work on your customs. Let's rock out. So, like I said, I'm leaning towards EVA foam to do the door frame. I want to basically mimic the door frames around the Falcon door, like I said, and also like the Navarro Cantina door. Let's see here. Pull up the Star Wars door frames images, and we're going to go ahead and pull these up. I'm going to share my screen with you guys so that you can see. Is that sharing? Oh, I have to click the word share, apparently. Right, so I see this one is more of the internal of the door frame, but I'm thinking I'm going to carry that padding out a little bit to the exterior just to make it a little more interesting and give it some texture. So that's what I'm looking at. It'll be something to look at, and I'll also probably frame out the padding so it gives it a little more depth, a little more character, and it gives us, you know, something to weather and stain and make it look world worn. Let's also take a look and just Millennium Falcon. We'll do this. We'll go interior. All right, so kind of like this here, where you've got the padding going all the way around the door frame, and then the internal padding. We don't have to worry about that, but that's there. So that's my idea. We're going to rock and roll with that. Let's do the thing. Who's texting me at this hour? I'm online right now. Everybody I know is like in the chat room, or my girlfriend when it wasn't my girlfriend. Not Tatooine style per se, Bjorn, but it will have a little bit of flavor like that. It's going to be closer to Batuu, meets Firefly with all the technology and stuff that's added onto it and the character that it's got. So let's get some EVA foam, and I happen to have that down here. Pull that piece of foam out. I'm not going to use the self-sticking EVA foam because I was finding that was popping up due to the temperature change. It's not its fault. It's not my fault. Not your fault. It's not anybody's fault. But it just doesn't want to apply the way I want it to. So we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. We're going to do it by hand. Tools we're going to need: safety razor or an X-Acto. I'm going to be using both just because I like to switch between the two. Blade sharpener, because again, I will sharpen my blades multiple times and use them that way. Super glue. We're going to be using super glue to attach this here. And be careful. If anybody wants to do this, follow along at home, or wants to work on something similar to this, feel free. Also, Tatooine style sounds like something you definitely do in the bedroom. There'd be sand involved and possible slavery. So I'm not on that, man. Okay, so yeah, let's get freaky with this thing here. And we're gonna hop over here. I just want to pull this up. There's that. And Bjorn, I did post that link in the chat, right? Nice. I'm going to save that statement for later. Yes, I did. I see it right there. Yeah. So again, if you want to get one of those shirts, pick it up right there, guys. You say that, but there's sand. I don't know if you've gotten sand anywhere around your bait and tackle, but not a good time. Not a good time. All right, so, you'll also need a straight edge. That's something, be it a scale or just a flat piece of bar. I have this ruler that I use, scale, ruler. It's one of those things. So I'm just really eyeballing this because it doesn't need to be picture perfect. It never does. It is for funsies. For a diorama, so we'll set that there away for a moment. We are just going to go ahead and take out our blade. I sharpened before. I don't think he'll do the job. So we'll just bring this down here. Right. So I've got this strip of material. I'll take this ruler. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, but I do like to have a square edge, or as close to square as I can get with EVA foam. And believe it or not, foam will dull the shit out of your knife quicker than most things. So just be cautious, be aware. When you're working with foam, you should sharpen your knife multiple times. Don't be afraid. You're not, cost you nothing to stop and do that and make sure that you're safe. And then I'm also just going to take that little excess bit of material off there because it's sticking out like a little fat belly and I don't want it there. I would like the pieces to kind of be even. There we go. That's better. So now we've got a nice strip of foam. Curiosity has me. Curiosity usually does beget me. But yeah, I didn't think that was going to work. But we've got our pieces to start with. We'll start cutting them. I'm thinking maybe a 1/2 inch, and we'll space them out a little bit. We'll use the thickness of a piece of foam as our spacer, and we'll go from there. So I'm just going to use the scale that's on the table. So if that's 1 inch, we'll go with 1/2. I'm just going to make my marks here. All right, so I'll probably put more work into this than there needs to be, but that's half the fun, I think, when you're doing stuff like this, is like, it's extra, right? We could have left that as is. We could have just not, bothered with changing anything, but we didn't. We said, hey, we'll deck this thing out. We'll make it look a little more lively, give it some more character. And I say we, there's a mouse in my pocket. I'm not even using the scale down below. I'm just comparing it to the last piece cut, because why not? Like I said, it doesn't need to be perfect. Everything's got a slight little curve to it. So, and then just to be sure, so we're being safe, carve that up again. So I am curious in the chat, if you guys want to sound off, how much, who was your first inspiration for world building? Was there anyone in particular? Did you come across the hobby by chance? Did you know somebody who was doing it and you decided, hey, I think I'd like to try that too? Have you been doing this since you were a kid building things? Like, sound off on that. I am curious, just as a general question. All right, it looks like I'm gonna have a little bit of material left over. That'll be our spacer piece. And we'll go over here. One thing I'll do is I'll take a sanding stick. It's very masculine when you call it a sanding stick. It's not a nail file. It's for men. Sanding stick. Toxic masculinity. It's a nail file, but sanding stick also works. And I'm just gonna take it, hit these edges a little bit, just a little bit. Started in minis 10 years ago, model aircraft. Yeah, Empire Toy Works definitely very influential in a lot of people's world building and world making. Just grab this over here. Hi, Rosie. Hi, Mom. Excuse me, Dan. One of the beautiful things about rearranging is when you disconnect things, you forget to plug them back in. Hello, Rosie. But for now, I'm just going to set this cord up in here. Like this. Don't try this at home, kids. Next week, this will not be like this, but we're doing it live. It's very exciting. Very exciting time for everybody. And Bjorn says Empire, like most people. So, I don't know how many of you guys would remember. I've got to figure out how to show the MTV program off on here. Somebody had said maybe do it as like a review and get away with showing it. I may have to look into that. Also figure out how to upload it on here because it's on a DVD, and no laptops anymore have DVD players. Frustrates the shit out of me. I understand why. The idea that nobody uses. Oh, you guys are hoping for treats. All right, I'll be kind. I'm gonna give you guys a treat because you're being such good doggos. Come on down here, Stark. Come here. Come here. All right. Mama Rosie, sit. Good girl. Yeah, man, sit. Good boy. Stark, sit pretty. Sit pretty, buddy. Good boy, Stark. Good boy, Stark. Yeah, I don't know if I hope it shows in the video. I know it shows in the video, but there's my old diorama shelf that I had in the background of my interview on MTV. They actually made me rearrange it, but you can still see the stuff that I had. Star Wars 1/18 scale on the bottom shelf. I had things glued to the wall, different containers and stuff. And also they brought the camera over. There's an over-the-shoulder shot of me working on my Jurassic Park that I had built in here at one point. Just on one of the shelves, I had like fake grass stapled to the beam, and my dinosaur set up. They wanted to see me messing with that stuff. They're like, play with your toys. And I was like, well, it's not exactly playing with them. And they're like, oh, you can certainly try. Akira is very, very, very good. Very crazy story, very weird story. Definitely a product of its time, but probably the best anime out there, just as far as like traditional raw anime in style, along with Studio Ghibli or Ghibli, whichever one you think is right, is the one that I should be saying. So sound off in the chat if I said it right, and how do you say it? But like as far as just the talent of the animation department, hand drawing all those cells each day over and over, creating just that beautiful film that is now like so critically acclaimed, loved, and recognized everywhere, and an inspiration to so much in movies and TV. You know, the Akira slide is one of the most reduplicated shots in films. That motorcycle slide is everywhere. You do see it. So cannot overstate how important that is to film, to television. And anytime you do that on your bike, like, I don't know about you guys, but like pedaling and then you hit the gravel and you kick the bike sideways, you feel like you're right in Akira. Like, that's absolutely that feeling, at least for me. I don't know about you guys, but for me, that's the ticket. So go ahead and bring you guys down here. So what I'll do is I'll take the first piece. I just need to, here's how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to put this here. I'm going to use our little spacer. And cool. Did I really glue this super close earlier? Oh, there we go. All right, that was funny. So the thing about EVA foam is that it soaks up super glue like nobody's business, which is good. So just make sure you're aware when you apply this on here, or if you're applying EVA foam to most things, it is going to stick and it's going to be there for a long time. So just be warned when you put it on there, it's going to stick right in. And I do hear Miss Snowflake at the door. So I'll glue this first piece on. As you can see, all I did was put that on there, Give it a slight little fold. Boom. So now we've got our first piece. Let me get Snowflake in here. Hi, Cameron. Watch out. Come on in, baby. Come on in, Snowflake. Baby. I love you. I'm not chasing you today. Come on. Come on. Come on, Douglas. Here. Come on, Snowflake. Come on, baby. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close the door. Bye. Love you. And I know as soon as my butt hits the seat, she's going to come running back to the door, meowing at it. Because she loves me. I think that's the sign of love for cats, is to meow at your door until you open it and then not come back. Now, Red, I'm reading your story here. I'm sorry I'm not popping it up on the screen. I promise I will as soon as I'm done gluing this piece on, because it's a good little tale here. So you're saying when you were younger, you had G.I. Joe figures, Zomat and Tomos, or however the hell you say it, Tomax, Toe Jam. And you made it your mission to fix them with parts from other toys and started making forts out of cardboard. Nice. Very Sid from Toy Story there. And I'm sure that's not what you meant by, fixing the toys from other parts from other toys, but certainly could. All right. Middle of a midlife crisis and you're reinventing yourself. I think that's the trick, right? Works for Madonna, works for Chris Jericho. I feel like legally you can get away with that. Yep, that's Grandma out there, boys and girls. Don't you start yelling now. As you can see, I am just using the spacer as a way to plot out where the next piece goes. G.I. Joe to G.I. Joe. All right, I got you. And Bjorn, you said your world building started primarily on the coffee table. Mine was up in my bedroom when I was a little guy. And I did not have many toys. What I did have, I treasured. I lost them a lot. My mom, I came from an abusive household. It's nothing I'm shy about. I talk about it because I think it's important to talk about these things, but I came from an abusive household, like I said. And my mom's husband, one of his favorite things to do was just pick a random day and start throwing my things out for whatever reason, be it, your room's not clean. Well, they're my toys and they're, on my little end stand. No, we're throwing them away. So I really do cherish my figures, and that is one of those things that I don't take lightly, is getting rid of them. So my world building was like secret little, rooms and closets, things like that, little like cubby things, and then I'd put a book in front of it to stop something from getting taken away. Once I moved in with my grandparents, I should say, it was way better. Life became way better, and I think that's important to talk about too. But yeah, I certainly didn't appreciate that when he would take my stuff. Yeah, Audi, I'm still not over that. You were telling that story, and things get thrown away by accident. And I get it, but I feel like I would have fist fought a parent or a cousin or an aunt or an uncle who threw my stuff away. Just like there would be an unprecedented level of interfamily violence. I'm mostly kidding, but also I'm kind of not kidding. What up, Anthony? And 375. All right, let me get you guys in the chat here. Tell you about the game we're doing today. If you do buy a Ko-Fi tonight, I've got a coffee. I gotta learn to say coffee, because that's what it is. It is set up for the cost of $3. That's cheaper than a cup of coffee at most places. If you buy one, I'm giving the dogs treats. They've been good dogs today, so I think they deserve to get in on the fun a little bit. Possibly Snowflake if she ever decides that she doesn't want to stand outside the door and meow and then look at the dogs and then wander off. Love that cat. Oh, dude, that's heartbreaking. Oh no, that is so sad. That's one of those reasons why I would feel bad about getting a storage unit and then finding toys in there, but at the same time, I'm like, hell yeah, storage unit full of toys. It's the duality of man, I guess. Again, yeah, you guys can see this angle. Now I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not even using the spacer because it's outer space. It's gonna get painted, weathered. I'm already trimming up blocks to make it look a little more, or pads to make it look a little more presentable on the radius. So we shall see. Okay. There we go. Here comes the middle piece. I still have my Lego bin with me and a tub of assorted little toys at my mom's. What's the theme, Red? I'm genuinely curious. That worked out perfectly. Damn. Okay. And there's Miss Snowflake again. Childhood trauma. Yeah, no, I think the past couple of generations, Gen X into the Gen Z, millennials, and, the like, I think we all kind of got the shaft in weird different ways as far as parenting went. And, also growing up, I think we're all starting to realize, those people didn't know what the fuck they were doing, right? This shit's all made up. Every system that we have in place is made up. Credit scores, banking. I get certain things are necessity, but it's all made up, right? So, we're gonna get rid of your toys. Well, why? Because you didn't put them away. Well, yeah, they're toys. I'm playing with them. Well, you're an adult. You don't need toys. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. I hear from people a lot of the time. Again, you'll see me stopping to sharpen my blade here, just trying to be safe. But you'll hear from people from time to time, like, oh, you got to grow up. You're an adult now. And it's like, yeah, all right. So, I'm happier now. I can get the things that I want. And I'm not miserable 90% of the time like a lot of other adults are. I don't know about you guys, but I've worked with some sorry, sad folks who, are just miserable all the time. No hobbies, no joy. Mention model trains or something. I'm not doing that stuff. That's for, weirdos. Well, what do you do for fun? Oh, nothing. I go to work and come home. It's like, that's sad. And Anthony is eating. We got 3.75 is whipping it out. I mean, that's fair. Works for the name. 3.75 whipping it out. Reasonable. I just try and do my best to remember that. This shit's made up by people who didn't know what the fuck they were doing. You know what blows my mind? Sincerely blows my mind, and I'm not going to get too into the nitty gritty of everything going on today, but credit scores were only created in the late 80s. That wasn't a thing. It just fucking blows my mind that all of a sudden a lot of us happen to be born into a time when that all of a sudden existed, and because they just fucking created it. Get out of here. Oh, man. But what can you do? Yeah. Yeah. And like, I actually appreciate the merit of the dead end job. Like, I think it's okay to absolutely, it is 1000% fine to work a dead end job, to have a career, and I put that in quotes while I'm over here gluing things to wood, to have a career that you're not super in love with and you're just going there to earn a check. Like, that's supposed to be the job. You can take pride in your work. I will never tell anybody not to take pride in their work if they don't want to. But this idea that some people have that you have to become your job, and that's got to be the most important thing and the priority for you to make all these other people their money and keep them happy, keep them, with their bills paid. Well, we're over here like, struggling to go home and, cool down and have dinner and spend time with our families and then repeat it every day. It's blows my mind that that's the expectation that people previous to us set. And it was because for them, they couldn't see the forest for the trees. And they thought that, putting that level of dedication, and I use that term loosely, into work for you throw yourself into your job, make that your whole personality. That's not healthy. You're just making money for somebody else, and you get a nickel or a dime. Yeah, and that's I'm sorry that you're feeling that way, Bjorn, but that's a very common thing. So you're not alone. I've said it before and time again. I love my girlfriend. She is the most wonderful person on this planet for me. I can never see being in love with anybody else as much as I am in love with her. When I was in my worst depressive episode with my previous job, just because it was like the number one thing is they wanted it to become your whole life. You had to work yourself to the bone there. And I felt like that's exactly what I was doing. I was just working to survive. And that's sad as hell. Like, we're supposed to be the number one nation in the world. People literally risk life and limb to come here. And most of us hate it. Right? Like, it blows my mind, these cats and kittens who are like, oh, it's the greatest country in the world, blah, 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 I love it here, get these people out of here. And then they piss, moan, and complain about their jobs. It's like, all right, well, if you don't like it so much, why can't we let somebody else do it, right? If somebody wants to come here and work, isn't that the American dream, right? Isn't that what you stand for? I don't know. I don't even consider this a political issue. I consider it a human rights thing. Like, people in our lives, we know so many people who have worked their asses off. Like, how many of your grandparents worked at the same company until they retired, right? My grandfather owned his own business, contractor, and Jesus Christ, there's a fucking pertinent. I'm going to leave that up for a little bit. God damn, put that on a t-shirt. He had his own business. And then when he retired, because, health insurance and all that stuff, they basically made it impossible to live on your retirement. The man had to get a job, and he got a job. Ooh-wee. He went and applied at a couple of places where he had, been purchasing materials for all his construction jobs for years and years and years. And they said, nah, we're not going to hire you. You're overqualified and all that stuff. Guy went to Home Depot. Worked at Home Depot as long as he could before his health finally told him, hey, you can't keep doing this anymore, because he was a believer that you gave your dedication to the place that you worked. And as much as I've disagreed with Home Depot's policies and stuff, I will say that place put dinner on my table for, my entire time through high school. And I am thankful for that. And they did treat their employees pretty okay. But, if he had his way, he probably would have worked there until the day he died. And that's really sad, because that's the mentality that a lot of that generation have, and they passed it on to their kids, who are in turn raised us, or still trying to raise us and trying to get us to see. But it's like, have you ever tried to depressive states of great art coming at him. Yeah, that's the thing too, is like being sad has brought on a lot of good stuff for me, but also sucks. Yeah, you're not wrong, but also the parents too. Like I had a sit down conversation with my grandmother, I'd say about a month ago, and I just like explained to her why so many people I know just feel so let down and so disenfranchised by the quote system, right? The world that we live in today. It's like, why is that? Well, let's look at what a house was for their parents. $30,000-$40,000 a year. Average person was making, we'll say 50,000 for easy math. I am no mathematician, but I do know this. Average salary was $30,000 a year. That was a good salary. You could have 2 cars and purchase a house. The interest rates were stellar. Like they had every advantage going for them. Whereas the same houses that were $50,000 and $60,000, $400,000 now, $500,000. You know what the average median income is now for, somebody who works a minimum wage job? It's like $32,000, $33,000. You can't afford to rent an apartment, let alone, hi Cal man, can't afford to rent an apartment, let alone purchase a house at this rate. And just so many of us feel stuck. Like the news was talking about, like, why are so many millennials renting rooms to their friends instead of buying houses? It's like, motherfucker, we can only afford a house if all of us pitch in and pay for rent on a room. Like it's staggering. Companies are allowed to just go ahead and buy up neighborhoods now. That's a new thing. I never in my life thought a company could buy a house unless it was like for, they were going to bulldoze it. Like, okay, they bought this house. Cal, man, don't chew on the antlers. I know they're antlers and dogs chew on that. Sorry, I got decor. I'm working on something. It's exciting. Hey, silly boy. But like, like companies can just buy up neighborhoods now and then, send in a contracting team and they go in and work a little bit and spruce the place up, maybe change some siding, and then they turn around and sell the houses for $200 or $300 more, or $200,000 or $300,000 more. And it's like, that's why so many people my age just feel so disenfranchised with the system. We don't get the same benefits that everybody else got to reap before it was our turn, And I was talking to, being that guy, I keep bringing up my girlfriend. I was talking to my girlfriend the other day, and I cited that line from Fight Club. We were all promised we would be, rock stars and movie gods, and we're not. And we're realizing that, and we're angry. Like, it's just the way it is. And once again, here we are, the same repeat, the same politicians, the same things happening on television, the same, social events happening. Yeah, absolutely. My income is still considered extremely low class, and this is the most money I've ever made per hour. Most money I have ever made per hour, and still, I'm not destitute. Obviously, I have lights on, I have a roof over my head, able to help take care of the dogs, take care of my grandmother, but I am not wealthy. I'm not tripping over money. I don't have a grand savings. I am one car piece breaking away from being broke, or one bad medical emergency away from being broke, and it's kind of sad, but that's just the world that was left to us, I guess, is what we should call it. And it's mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing to me. And there's really like nothing we can do about it except maybe like do like the French do. I like their way of dealing with things. I was 13. And we've been at war ever since. Desert Storm was in the 90s. I remember that just like vaguely. I remember hearing about it. I knew the place that I wound up working for, I knew a lot of people worked there building Black Hawk helicopters, panels for the Black Hawks. a lot of adults that I knew worked there, and then I grew up in another company, took it over, and I worked there. But like, our country's been at war or involved in conflicts most of my life. Since I was 13 and on, we haven't been out of one. But yeah, you know, you work hard for that pizza party, and you're thankful that you got that piece of pizza. I probably would have left the mug there. That's depressing. Like the company that I work for now, I'm not going to get too into that. I'm sure people could find out where I work, but I just don't. You disclose that, and then somebody's like, "Oh, I heard you talking about your job online." It's a whole thing. But anyway, they do well. They do well to give us bonuses and good merit increases, and also cost of living adjustments on our pay scale before the raise, which I'm not sure how that works. I feel like it should work the other way around, but I'm not a mathematician. But it's like, you know, again, I'm making the most I've ever made hourly, working a job that's not tearing my body apart in the ways that my previous jobs were, which has helped my mental health immensely. And yet, still, I'm not wealthy. I'm not tripping over money. It's just wild. And for the people that go, "Oh, well, just go get another job," it ain't that way. Very, very close friend of mine. A very close friend of mine is a server, and she's looking for a new gig because the previous place is cutting hours for people. She's been able to walk into a place and say, "Hey, I'm a server with 6 years of experience, blah blah blah," and usually gets hired on the spot. Has never not gotten hired on the spot that way. Went out today to 8 or 9 different places. Nobody's hiring. And yeah, combining incomes is for the bills and utilities and stuff, like that's just tremendous. Like that's just good business. Sad, but also makes things a little bit easier. And yeah. Let me see if I can get this snowflake cat in here. She's just standing outside the door meowing. Sit. Stay. Sit. Sit down. Come on, Snowflake. Hi, baby. Good girl. Hello. Hey, baby. You want to say hello to everybody? Oh, got the big white cat. Hello. Say hello, everybody. She made her grand appearance, guys. And if somebody buys a coffee, she gets a treat. Probably give you a couple because they're tiny. Yeah. Okay, go play. You can go play. I know you want to look at the stuff on the floor. Yeah, spicy Kool-Aid. Yeah, no, I don't want to drink the spicy Kool-Aid and talk about the sky baby. Nice, Bjorn. Did you pick any of them up, or did you bring enough for the class, Bjorn? Oh, Snowflake, she'll show you the beans. She's a lovely lady. She got little pink beans on her feet. And I tease her about it. Sometimes she'll let me play with her feet, and then other times she's like, "No, don't touch. No touchy." Like Cleveland. She's a good girl. Now she's investigating because she can get Ko-Fi takes like 25 cents or something like that, or maybe a little bit more. I get it for the service and all that, but I like that. we love and respect the pink bean in this house, and If you can't find it, well, I can either get in there and show you, or we can have a conversation. There's learning tools online, but it's 2024. Like, there's no excuse. What you doing, girly girl? You exploring now that I open up all this space? I left the top of that black cabinet that was over here. I filled it. I didn't tell you guys what I did with that cabinet, did I? Real quick. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that up there. So there was the black thing here that had all my painting supplies and stuff, which are now here, which is easier for me to grab because there's more space. I took this and I took all the toys that I had in here, like the things that I got on clearance, dollar store vehicles, yard sale stuff, things that I've been saving for projects. I organized it and I condensed it onto those shelves, and I put it in my office out of the way, like a retail shelf. So when I want to go work on a project, I can just pull the things right from there. Opens up the space in here, and I left the top clear because it's right by the window that she likes to sit and look out. So now she's got a perch. I gained some space. Everybody's happy. Miss Mau Mau. Yeah. This morning, she scared the shit out of me. You guys have seen my room before, so I have a window over there. Close the curtains at night. They're blackout curtains. So I got up this morning, let the dogs outside, went and emptied my bladder, came back inside. I was going to lay back down because it was like my very first alarm. I'm trying to get out of that habit. So I'm like, if I lay down right now, I'm going to go back to sleep. I'm going to have all kinds of sleep inertia when I get up again for work. So I'll just start my day. So I turn on my lights, walk over to the curtains, talking to the dogs because they were getting settled into the crate because they go back in for bed for a little while. And I turn over and there's Snowflake in behind the curtains. I had no idea she was there. Scared the shit out of me, looking like a spooky little ghost. Yeah, that was you, ma'am. You scared me. And yeah, she was thrilled to see me. Like, oh, hey, good to see you here. Yeah, it's my room, bud. But she's a good cat. And let's get that. If you guys already haven't, I'm going to be this pest. Make sure you hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed already, smack on that button too. That helps the channel. And everybody, when you go to a channel and you go to watch a video or whatever, throw a like on it. Unless it's like some real reprehensible shit, like something awful, like then don't fucking like it. Just, report the channel or move on or whatever. I don't know how to do that. But throw them a like. It helps. It pushes things higher in the algorithm. More people see it, and it's really nice. And if you're new here, please feel free. Yeah, no, you don't want to. You don't, unless you're asked to, then you do, which you don't. You don't. Hey, Pirates, how's it going? I think her mom leads the colony. Mama Snow leads the colony. Mama Snow's got a cardboard box under the table, and she was just shouting orders at me earlier. Cutest boss I ever had. I don't think that they're maniac. Well, yeah, but I feel like Snowflake, she's just such a curious lady that just wants to see things and know what's going on. Her sister Azriel, who's currently in the living room, sitting on the heating pad enjoying life, because I wanted to make sure that they have a heating pad because cats like hot blanket. But she's out there enjoying life, and she will come in here sometimes and she'll just sit on my leg and watch me either work at my job or watch me work on these things when I'm world building or putting something together or like gluing things or from drawing. And she just observes. And it's like, I want her to learn this stuff. So when my hands don't work anymore, she can use her paws to make stuff, but I don't think it's going to work out. She's a cat. Right. All right. So that's starting to look the way I want it. Now I'm going to make a strip, probably be a 2-piece strip of foam all the way around just to encapsulate that edge. So we'll do that. And in fact, I'll probably make it a little wider than this offcut piece, but to give you guys a good idea of what it will look like, see here. There we go. Because it's not a consistent piece of foam, you get what I'm saying. You get what's going on here. It'll go around it like that. Yep. I'll do the thing right now. I'm gonna make it happen. Oh man, it's definitely Friday. I'm so glad it's Friday, guys. Yes, I've seen that book, and I feel like it's just, if I bring that in the house and they're not already plotting to kill me, then I've given them an idea. But I don't think that Mama Snow is out for murder. I think Mama Snow just wants to be benevolent. That's the word, benevolent, and order me to give her treats and clean her litter box. And I'd say we've got a pretty good system. She goes and orders that I do things, and half the time I do them. Other times I go, no, Mama Snow, not right now. She gets quiet, and then she yells at me some more. So, let's see here. Hi, puppy dogs. And I'm just going to drop this in the chat because I can. And also the link for the shirts is in the chat room, guys, if you are interested in getting one of those shirts. And this is going to be the building that is the Rusty Jackalope Provisions Company. So I guess right here, we'll do it this way. That's going to be the angle. Back when I worked for the aerospace company, that's what I used to do previously, before I worked in writing. And I say worked in writing, I am a published author. I have a book on Instagram and a bunch of collections of short stories on Instagram as well through Black Ink Fiction. One of my favorite, groups to ever work with and for. A self-published indie company that publishes mainly horror and fantasy. They do a lot of collection series, but anyway, I'm in a bunch of books there as well. But anyhow, I worked in aerospace and used to build emergency exit windows and other windows for Black Hawk helicopters and other helicopters. And one of the things we had to do on some of the emergency exits was put a foam gasket on. And years later, I learned that it's basically a denser version of EVA foam. It's still technically EVA foam. It's just a particular type of EVA foam. And so I'm pretty damn good at putting gaskets on things. It is not solid wood, it's ply, and it looks like it's... No, actually, each slab is solid wood. Not even ply, Bjorn. So, it's probably 1/4 of an inch thick. Yeah, just about 1/4 of an inch. Onions and ogres have layers. Mama Rosie, are you cleaning Cowman's eyes? That's his brother's gimmick. His brother likes to clean eyes. And I'm sorry, I thought that was Bjorn that asked, right? I apologize. But yeah, it's solid wood. Like I said, about 1/4 inch thick. Okay. So yeah. Probably gonna have to cut another piece of foam. Could I stretch this? I probably could stretch it a little more. But so far we're looking like that. Starting to be the way I want it to. All right. There's that there. Hell yeah. That whole onions have layers bit is probably my favorite bit of Shrek. My favorite gag. Ogres are like onions. Why would you say onions? Why wouldn't you choose something else? Like a nice parfait. I never heard nobody say, I don't like a nice parfait. Okay, cut that there. So I've got to make enough for 2 more blocks, and then we will blend this all together with a nice hearty coat of Mod Podge. I thought about stippling it with the stuff on there too, but I think I'm just going to do Mod Podge and stipple it just to give it a difference in texture. Oh, thank you, Audi. I will go ahead and treat these criminal children now. Always appreciated. Always appreciated. All right. Come here, friends. All right, I got the cat treat for Snowflake and dog treat for the dogs. Come here, cat treat. All right. The other cats knew that they were treats. Come here. Come here. All right, ready? Say thank you, Audi. I'm going to bring the camera down for these guys. I don't know if Snowflake's going to come over and pay attention. Come here. All right, ready? Mr. Cowman, sit. Good boy. Are you on camera? All right, Mama Rosie, we'll give you the big chunk right here because you're a good mama. Mama Rosie, sit. Good girl. And Mr. Starks, you want to sit pretty? Sit pretty, buddy. What a good boy. Good boy, Stark. Is Snowflake? I'm going to step around. I don't think she's coming over here for this. Miss Mau Mau. Here, baby. Here. Here. Here, Snowflake. There you go. Say thank you, Audi. Good girl. You leave her alone, you lunatics. All right. Thank you so much. And they do thank you as they're staring at me expecting more. They know I've got more up here. Certain of it. Let me get this little last piece here. And we'll do... Yeah, I hear you grunting over there because you want more, ma'am. Take your time. Relax. All right, so we've got the last piece there. Go ahead and put this on here now. Give you guys a little bit more of an angle. Hell yeah, by eye. Damn, that's good. I do want to trim that off a little bit more. Make that a closer cut. Yep, cool. Cowman is staring at his cat sister like, why did she get a treat too? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand. Oh, Mr. Cowman. A little confusing for you, huh, buddy? It's like she's not a dog. She thinks she's a dog. She will, like, I'll go to let them out and she'll fall in line like they do and just start walking towards the door like she's going to go. Does eyeballing things while wearing glasses count as cheating? That's entirely up to you and the relationship you have with your partner. I feel like that's something y'all should discuss. And then you'll know. Then you'll know for sure. That is a solid way to know 100%. Is talk to your partner. Unless you're like cheating on your diet, and then that's just between you and your food. Or if you're cheating on your wallet by stealing. I don't know. How do you cheat on your wallet? I don't know. All right. So what do you think, guys? Should I put some type of trim around this window here, or leave it alone? Throw some ideas in the chat. I'm up to a couple of ideas. Yep. I lowered the window. I've lost you. Where are you, my friends? Well, this is dumb. I don't like when my apps update. Or apps. Yeah, not every... There we go. All right, we're back in action. Glasses count as performance enhancing equipment. If you can't find that pink bean, possibly yes. Anthony's saying to trim it out. Give it a trim. Your lady friend will appreciate it. I believe that, you know, if you trim things, it can be appreciated. Yes, that is true. Hi, Rosie. You're so beautiful. Oh, you're just the prettiest lady named Rosie that I know. Oh, even prettier than Rosie Perez. Yes, you are. Come here. Come here, Rosie. Come here, Mama. You want to say hi to the friends? Come here. Come here, Rosie. 1, 2, 3, up. Oh, goodness. Say hello. Hello, friends. Yes, you are good, Peggy. Oh, thank you for the kisses. Yeah. I don't know if you guys can hear her grunting. Oh, Piglet. You happy? You happy because you got a nice treat? Yeah. Oh, you're a good girl. Say thank you, Audi. Say thank you. You're a good girl. All right. Careful, careful. Yes, psycho. All right. So I guess we'll do some window trim. I thought about using, I might put a plastic bubble in the window. I've got a couple of different ones. One that sort of fits. I wish I had picked. So stupid me. Every time the holidays roll around, you see those plastic baubles that you're supposed to like fill with stuff for Christmas ornaments, and I don't pick them up. I'd like to, but I never do. And hey, that's comedy, baby. That's showbiz. That's what I'm here for. And I always call back to the bean. You know what I'm saying? This show isn't for kids. I don't know who else to tell. Audi says hello, pirates. Nope, that's Anthony. There we go. Working on making your version of a plasma rifle from the Terminator. Out of pieces, Bjorn, or are you cooking something up in the backyard using a microwave, a coil conductor, lasers from a DVD player, and other things, or is this like Nerf, like 1/12 or 1-to-1 scale? Like what? That's not a bad idea. So let me show you guys what I got. This is the great thing. Check this out. Is I can duck under here now, and I can just pull things out. And I don't have to worry about a concussion. I mean, I still worry about concussions. It's just like in life. But look at that. I just pull my little box out here on the live stream. Be sure to tip for that. So I've got, these are the bubbles that I was talking about. So I've got this one which doesn't fit. I could fudge it by, good catch. I could fudge it by putting foam around it probably twice and then fitting it in there, which now that I'm looking at it that way. And then I've got this one, which is too big this way, and it does have that little like nipple on the front of it. I don't know if you can see. Dang. But then the other thought was like try to put it in this way, but then it looks just silly. So I think I'm going to use that little one. I'll thicken it up with foam and snug it in place, and we'll see how it looks. So good call on that, Ant. And that's in there now. Back in there you go. That's where you live. Box. Marauders pieces. Full size one. Yeah, no, you gotta have a couple of things in place in order to utilize that type of technology, even if it's just simple singular tech. You'll probably be smelling toast for a while too. All right, so I've got this. We're gonna get a little strip of foam here. Fly me to the moon. Stay. And we'll go 1/4 inch thick. I could get, so normally when I'm doing this stuff, it's 2mm EVA foam. Very, very good for 1/18 stuff. If you can find 1mm EVA foam, also great for 118 scale. Yes, that is true. Galactic Slime Lord, 100%. Always a fan of the nipples at the window and the pink beans. I have 4mm thick EVA foam. The 4mm thick EVA foam I have is down in my old workshop, number 1. Sorry, Chandler, what? But it's impregnated with a polymer substance that's like, I don't know if you ever heard of a product called Warbler. It's used a lot in cosplay. Basically, it's got a glue and epoxy in there, and when you heat it up, it gets malleable, and then when it hardens, it's thick and tough. But I think I'm going to use this, probably 2 layers of this 2mm foam, just so that I can snug that in place in that window. So we'll start, we'll do just under a 1/4 of an inch. Well, we'll go a little bigger than a 1/4 of an inch wide, close enough to it. Nobody can tell me otherwise. You dogs are silly. Are you gonna give us the context of where you came up with this tattoo idea? Is that a reference to something, or did you just really, you were like, hey, gonna get a tattoo on the old of a nip knop on my old rib cage here? Because cool. But also, like, I want to know how you ended there. Rosie, did you get stuck between... She got stuck between the bed and the radiator. Oh my God, that'd be so funny if you got like 6. There he goes. There's the fucking cat man. Why do people call him the cat man? Dude was walking around one day with his shirt off. He's got 6 nipples. No reference, just funny. You're not wrong. It is funny. I ain't going to take that one away from you. All right. To give myself a little bit of... Give myself some teeth on here. I want to see if Blood Honey Sin will join in this conversation, because this is ridiculous. Fake nipple tattoos. Y'all are out of control tonight. I'm loving it. This is the kind of energy that I love to see in my chats. And for anybody tuning in on the replay, yeah, it's that kind of show. All right, so we're going to put a little bit of CA glue here. I'm going to start right there. Now, the thing is that CA will frost this a little bit. So I'm only putting it where I want to see it. Okay. All right. That's if you go to Bittersweet Blackbird on Instagram, that is my friend Bridget's tattoo place. She's the owner and operator. I've known Bridget for quite some time. I was one of Bridget's first 6 tattoos that she was doing while she was an apprentice. She wanted complicated shapes, so I got the fixed star off of old maps. She has quite the talent now compared to, when she was tattooing a shape on me. When your friend says, hey, I'm, trying to become a successful tattoo artist, come pay me to tattoo weird shapes on you, you jump at the call. Anyway, she recently just did tattoos for somebody who had I believe it was a double mastectomy for cancer, and gave nipple tattoos, and they look absolutely real. However, it is indicated that they are tattoos as to not upset the algorithm gods or, upset anybody's sensibilities. But if you want to see some really impressive tattoo work or just support somebody who has always been supportive of me and my art, please feel free to go check out Bittersweet Blackbird Tattoos on Instagram. And if you're ever in the Saratoga area, or Saratoga Springs area, I should say, and you're looking for a tattoo, hit them up. And Bridget and I, we actually connected because we were both in an art show that was run by my friend Drew, who I've talked about before on here. And yeah. Cowman, there's like 30 places in this bedroom that you like to lay down, that you like to take naps, my little boy. But you're sitting there growling at your brother because he's happy and comfortable in the crate by himself. So you're just going to stand there and growl at him. Well, holy shit. Yeah, no, I never thought about a subdermal to have permanent hard nipples as a tattoo feature. If that's something you want, like if you want poking through your t-shirt nips all the time, that's pretty fucking brilliant. Again, I never would have thought of that, or even that would have never even crossed my brain. I learn things from you guys all the time. Just like I think it was Lord of Thane said, he learns customizing things from me. I learn weird shit from you guys, and that's pretty fucking brilliant. All right. So I can still feel this foam curing here. Let's see. Yep, we're going to need a couple more layers of foam. So as you can see, that is not even close to snug yet. So I think we're looking at 2 more layers. I probably could have gotten away with going downstairs and gotten a piece of foam for that extra layer, but I didn't want to. And I would have had to heat it up too. Guys are out of control. And I was thinking about television, which I often do. Do you guys remember 90s, actually close to the early 2000s, TGIF, when that was a thing? When Friday night television ratings wars were a very serious thing. Serious, it's fucking television ratings. But you'd want to, networks would want to say they're the number 1 comedy on Friday nights and, things like that. And it was a big deal. I'm just wondering if anybody else remembers the whole TGIF craze for a while there. Family Matters, Step by Step, Boy Meets World. Christ, there were so many. Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which that was my jam, along with Boy Meets World. And then it wasn't, I feel like, no, that was on Sundays. NYPD Blue. That was on Sunday nights, wasn't it? It wasn't on Friday nights at 11, or not 11, but 10. It was on Sunday nights. What are you doing over there, Piggy Rosie? Cleaning your feet. Oh, you're itching your nosy. Okay. 4th streamer tonight that brought up TGIF. That's weird. Oh, with Bulky and yes, Perfect Strangers. Yes. And then he used to Bulky used to appear on Step by Step as what's her name's hairdresser? Suzanne Summers, hairdresser. Yeah. Wow, we're going back. I'm just unlocking all kinds of things. I also like that I got called a streamer. Gosh. Convergent is right. It's the solar flare, man. It's the big solar flares that went on this week. It's unlocking some of the stuff that was repressed by CERN. Surely, Famine, you can't be serious. I am, and don't call me Shirley Famine. And it's another layer. I think we've got one more layer, and then we'll snug this into the hole, and then we'll hopefully be able to put a loft cat in it in the future. I think I'm actually going to make this layer thinner. Sun is in the house of car flag. I don't... Is that a Dune reference? Do you need a Carfax? Is that what you're asking me for? I don't... You know, there's a house in New Orleans that they call the Rising Sun. Or Nolans, if you're from there. I am not from there. So what did I do here? Mercury was in the microwave. Wow. Okay. I don't know. I'm a Capri Sun. I don't know. Yeah. Like I understand that there is some science and I say some science because it's not all scientific. Like a lot of it is vague, but I understand that there's some science and that you know, where you were born cosmically does have something to do with a lot of things, but it tickles me. Oh, it's a Drake and Josh reference. Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched Drake and Josh probably since it was on TV. And then, you know, there's that whole what was it, a grooming allegation that happened, and then, you know, I believe it was Drake had that happen against him. So I don't know. I don't. But I mean, I've literally seen somebody commit a crime. I've seen somebody commit a crime and then literally blame it on their astrological sign. So you know how we are. We're Tauruses. I don't drive my car into a park. That's my sign, by the way, if anybody wants to know. Happens to the best of us. All right. So we got this fitted. Yeah, that's going to be snug in there. So let me walk that foam around here. Cool. All right. I think I may have to go in from the back. I may have to go in from behind, you know what I mean? Yes, I've heard that about Leos. And also they stop dating women when they turn 24. So 25? Oh, wrong Leo. Sorry. Right. Or right Leo, depending. Cool. Look at that. Now we've got a thing. What added more texture? It was the fact that the baking soda was in there with the Eileen's tacky glue and thinned down by the Mod Podge. And it does go on thicker. And then the stippling pushes down and pulls up different points. And I just did that over this surface several times. And then after the live stream, I also did one pass with Mod Podge just to seal everything in and make sure that if there was any wood showing that I somehow missed, because rule of odds is that I was going to miss something or a crack or whatever, that I would be able to coat that over so when I put paint on there, it doesn't get sucked into the wood. Right, so now we can get some paint, or excuse me, some Mod Podge on these foam pieces real quick. Before we do that, let me stand here. I do have a couple of greeblies that I thought about using. Here's this one. So I've got this little AC unit. I think I can weather up. I'm going to attach it somewhere on the side or maybe right over the door. I don't know yet. So I think I just dry brushed out 3 different colors. I could use some weathering. I've got that. And then I have a Jason Jensen panel that I did set aside. That's already pre-primed. So I think I might use that as well. No, not at all. If anything, it just gave it a little bit of smoothness to some of the pointy peaks, which is fine. But yeah, I've got those pieces there. I thought we might be able to put them to use. Let's see, I had my little tray of like things I might use soon, but also might not use soon. Could use this guy. There we go. One of those tops for beverage. But I wouldn't want to put it on the same side. I don't know. I think I'm going to pass on that, but I will use that little air conditioning unit, and I'm going to use the Droid socket from one of the Jason Jensen pieces. I'll put the Droid socket right here at about droid height. Seems reasonable. It will grab. All right, so here's the thing. Texture science. Get your aluminum foil. You use your aluminum foil. You're crumpling it up or whatever. If any of the angles of the foil, once it's crumpled, is hooked enough that there's a lip, when you put glue on, that glue is going to get underneath there, seep and harden up. So when you start to pull it off, where it'll pull off other smoother parts, once it hits those points where it's hard, it's going to pull the material and manipulate it, and it may tear or it may tear your glue, depending on how tightly that foil is. If it's super flat, you're going to be able to peel off of it. If you want to glue on something that it's not going to stick to or is going to have a harder time sticking to it, wax paper, not parchment paper, wax paper. There's the thing. You're not supposed to put hot glue in your oven to begin with, but don't ever put hot glue in your oven on wax paper or parchment paper, but also parchment paper is for oven, wax paper is not. And I have that there for another project. You see that pup droid that just fell down? Make sure you go over to Aegis Station. He's having a droid claim sale. They may all be sold, but it's the 3rd iteration of pup droids, and they actually have metal pieces to them now, and it's really cute, really cool. All right, so we're going to put away this foam now. I'm trying to get better at number one, returning things to where I got them. Number two, cleaning up my workspace as I work. That's something I was never super tremendously talented at, but I kind of want to get back in the habit of doing so. Yep. Yeah, no, that is one of those things that I think we all learn, but also like nobody really told me. Not even in like home ec class where you're supposed to learn like basic things like that, and when to use saran wrap, when to use foil. Nobody ever told me about that stuff. So mistakes were made, but that's the way it goes. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. Well, let's see here. Turn this droid thing that way. So I'm going to glue this. You don't have to learn from our mistakes, Bjorn. Learn from our mistakes. Just fucking don't put things in the oven. There you go. There's your life lesson. Don't put shit in the oven, bud. Huh. China. No guts or anything. Explain a little further, extrapolate on that. Is it you want to use the radio as a mold? Yeah, you should be fine. So you're not going to want to put it in the oven, though. You're going to want to use the hot glue and let the hot glue do the hottening and treat it with respect and let it, like I said, let it do the hottening. And yes, that is the word of the day today, hottening. It's like, when you get ready to go out to the club and you get all dressed up in your favorite wear, or you're going out square dancing, line dance, whatever the fuck you do wherever you're from. You get all dressed up and gussied up. That's the hottening. Cool. I'm just super gluing pieces on here. Greebling this thing up, as I would say. We're not going to do anything on the roof right now, but I do believe that I will. Familiar with the drinking game? No, yeah, you can absolutely fuck around and get drunk watching this show. That's absolutely, as long as you don't have to drive anywhere afterwards, and you don't, you're not taking care of like an infant, or you're not an aggressive drunk. I don't care. Rock on, man. I'll make that hat line up just for you. There we go. Nice. If you're not putting it, yes, Slime Lord, if you go to the, I'll drop a link in the chat, but yes, it's XL. Give me 1 second here. I have a affiliate link. I get a kickback. You don't pay any more. Hello. Let's see here. Let me get you that affiliate link. Pet habitat. Okay, extra large. And give me the link. See, this is why I don't like using browser Amazon, because I don't know where things are. Because I do have a link. Like I said, I want to make your life easier, and I also want to make like 12 cents. So if you don't mind, if you're going to pick one up, if you're doing your shopping and you're like, man, sure would like to make sure that Famine gets like 12 cents, which is always appreciated. Famine does like 12 cents. Here we go. Gotcha. And there's the affiliate link. Hey, you shut up, other woman. There we go. Oh no, she's not Mrs. Famine. She's Miss Blood Honey Senwi. What is going on here? For whatever reason, I can't click in the comment box. So I hope you guys can still see me. If you guys sound off in the chat. There we go. Maybe. Go. This is so bizarre. But yes, if you go to the original video where I started this on part 1, there is a link to see, every time I try and click on the chat window to talk to you guys, this is so screwy. Huh. But yeah, no, I actually will. This is going to be, I can see your messages out. I could see your text message and everything. If somebody would be kind to grab from the first video and drop the link in the chat for this, the XL Hamster Hut. If anybody wants to pick one up, please feel free. But this is actually going to get a bottom on it. I have a piece of very thick. Oh, Galactic's got it. Great, thank you. This thick particle board. It's going to go there. It's going to seal this off. This is just going to be a facade building and also something that I can move around. Has to be an admin. An admin? Oh, if only I had some bounty hunters in this room that work my own not shitty Pinkertons that keep this room good. I'm just saying Bjorn and Anthony, they have that power. But also, this was something I was going to break out a little closer towards the end of the video to show you guys, but I guess I will now. I completely forgot I had it, which was the theme of today as I went through things. I also have another pet house, right? Another hamster hut. This one has a hole in the roof, which I have a light for. Yeah, God damn it. Because you are one of my mods, you're my primary moderator, you are allowed to add links to the chat. I believe I gave you that power. But let's see here. But anyhow, this is going to be a speeder bike mechanic shop, and I'm excited about this. But when I put that piece of flooring material, I'm actually going to give this a slight lip all the way around, because then I'll be able to place it on top of here, and it's now a 2-story building. It's the hat. Yep. So got that. And, or, because obviously you don't want the door. Oh, I'm wearing the hat. Oh, okay. Yep. Drink up. Here, I'll go ahead. Cheers to you. That's pretty goddamn cool, man. They do line up so well. There is just a tiny bit of overlap. I'll show you here. But again, once I put that bottom on there, that's going to take care of that. It's not an issue. It's just over a 1/4 inch. But obviously, I'm not going to have 2 doors on the same side in the shot. So literally, I can just have this seat on here this way, you know, and boom. Now I've got a tall building. Now I've got a tall building, right? Or I can just pop that off, and then I've got the building on its own. So I'm super excited about this. This will be another build along on the channel. I'll probably do a marathon build for this one of those nights. Maybe I'll wait for a snowstorm or something, or if I just get a wild hair up my ass. But actually, when I was pre-streaming with Anthony and we were just shooting the shit, I found that the ring light that I had from my old cell phone, it was an old ring light for my cell phone. It's right here. It's rechargeable. This actually seats perfectly into the hole. Tip this new one on the side, and I can take pictures through the light. Tip the new one on its side. Which side? This one? This side? You got to give me something to go on here. But turn it 90. All right. My left or your left? Left or right? I'm just going to keep turning this bitch. Open on bottom. Like this. Go this way. I'm just going to rotate the goddamn thing. Hold on. Like Wilson Phillips, hold on, because I'll sing that song. I know there's pain. Why do you lock yourself up in these chains? You've got no one to blame for your own unhappiness. Oh, baby, you got yourself into your own mess. Open your heart on your mind. There you go. Big opens on my left. But curve open on bottom. Bro, like this? Or this? I feel like y'all just have a bet going to see how many of these different things that I'll do. Here we go. Now you've got to share with the class what your idea is. Cowboy hat on the Famine. Hi, Cowman. Hello, buddy. You're so handsome. Yeah, you absolutely could. You could put a rock here, you know, like make it part of whatever, but I'm rocking and rolling this bad boy with this. Like I said, it's going to be a speeder bike garage, and I've got the light, which keys in, and it actually can be left in there. The charging port is high enough where it doesn't interfere. and it doesn't look completely out of place sitting on the roof like that. So I'm super excited about that. But right now, we are here for this bad boy. So let's get some hot glue, Mod Podge on the foam, and we'll start thinking about slapping on some base coats of paint on this bitch. Yeah. Mod Podge, mother trucker. Way more ridiculous than intended. I played right along. Listen, are we talking about the pink bean again? If we are flicking the pink bean, you don't flick the pink bean. You do not. No. Unless you're asked, then you get some clear guidelines, you discuss it beforehand, but you don't just start fucking flicking at it. It's a good way to lose a tooth, bust a nose, black eye, end of the relationship. Hi, Cowman. You don't need any Mod Podge, buddy. This is not something that cows need. Silly boy. Okay, and I've got 2 tickets and a pair of dice. When I was a kid, I thought those were the words. 2 tickets, pair of dice. I didn't. 2 tickets to paradise. I don't know what the fuck that meant. So, 2 tickets and a pair of dice. Y'all didn't see nothing. All right, so I've got brush here. Hello, Mama Rosie. Hello, gorgeous. You're so pretty. So let me ask the chat. All right, let's look at like a light switch. Not like a bug. It should be. Yeah. Listen, if we're having this conversation, we'll at least wait until 10 o'clock. But I'm right there with you. So I wanted to ask the chat. Since we've been here at about 2 hours. I don't know about you guys, but my bladder may need to be emptied. If your bladders need to be emptied too, I feel like a teacher in school. Let's all talk about going to the bathroom. If everybody wants to take a quick 5-minute dip out break, I will run and feed these doggies. Let them go outside. Hey, some people are into that. But you want to discuss that with your partner. Have a heart to heart. Trim your fingernails and wash your hands, boys. I worked. I've discussed a little bit. I worked in an aerospace company, and one of the guys asked me why I had a nail brush in my locker. I was a painter at the time. I was like, well, number one, I don't want this radioactive paint underneath my fingernails for any longer than it has to be if it gets there. And number two, I do have a girlfriend, and contrary to popular belief, while they do I've heard that women like rugged and manly men, clean is also a big thing. And if you have any play and hands start to go places, you don't want filthy fucking hands that could possibly give your partner a UTI. So wash your hands, trim your nails. You don't want to cut anybody, and also keep your hands clean and nails not sharp. Good thing. It's just general cleanliness amongst men. Good thing. And 375 is in the showers. Cooking with spices, yeah. And if you've been cooking with hot peppers, and even after you've washed your hands, you should certainly wash them again and again. I have been the victim of my own hand fiasco, where I'll wash my hands. I'll certainly wash my hands after cutting hot peppers. That's not an optional thing. Men, we go to the bathroom and we hold our business when we pee, right? And I learned the first time I ever made that mistake with hot stuff on my hands, so I always wash my hands. However, certain peppers, you really gotta fucking scrub to get the oils off, and they effervesce. So warm water, but not hot, and wash your hands, let your hands dry, and then come back and wash your hands again. And I promise you, you will have a much better time when you get ready to go pee or you do anything with your partner where you're not burning their genitals or your own genitals. That is just a conscious health tip from your old pal Famine, and also a culinary tip from a guy that was making habanero poppers for one of the customers at the bar who brought in their own habaneros and really wanted them. And my boss said, sure. Oh, I'd throw myself out a window. There'd be no more of me. I ate a Carolina Reaper one time, and it was fucking atrocious. I want nothing to do with anything that hot ever again in my life. But I feel like if I touched myself with that level of horrible stuff, yeah. I believe you. I've had hot sauce with a Marine who was a certified badass. This gentleman was a Marine. He lost his hearing in Nam. He was a honor guard in the Marines. He was at Kennedy's funeral. He's in a lot of the footage and videos after JFK was assassinated. He was a SWAT team leader. He was a detective. This dude was a badass. He and I had this hot sauce. We both played it, like there was nothing wrong and it didn't hurt, and it really upset the guys who brought the hot sauce. When they left, we both drank a quart of half and half each to try and squash the pain. And he said that he had been in gas drills, pepper spray, and all that stuff that hurt less than that sauce. So I, just after that, like, as the older I've gotten, the less I, number one, feel like I have to have the bravado to try the super hot foods. And number two, the less I want to eat the super hot foods. I did the hot chip challenge 2 years ago, and if Blood Honey Sin could hear right now instead of her heater being hooked up, she could tell you I was in a world of hurt after I tried that stupid hot chip Pocky one chip challenge, and I don't ever want to eat hot stuff like that again. There's no reason. No reason for that for me. No, thank you. Like, I'm old. It's probably not good for me anyway. Like I said, at my last job, I got ulcers, so. I'll do like buffalo wings, a little bit of spice on some buffalo wings and stuff like that. I'll dig on that. It's got to have flavor, but man, I'm not fucking around with no Carolina Reaper. I don't need any scorpion peppers or, magma dragon fuck come into my mouth. Hot sauces. I don't need anything called like the Bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Little Man, Fat Boy, Dave's Insanity sauce. Punch you in the mouth hot, slap your grandmother because it's so spicy. Like, I don't need any of that shit. Unnecessary. Yes, Snowflake. Do you need to get out to use the litter box, my friend? Give me a second. All right, so we got some Mod Podge on there. Real quick, show you guys off. Watch the light. I did that. I'm going to take a 5-minute break. I'm going to leave the stream up. I really hope you guys stick around. I recommend, you've been sitting here listening to me yammer on for about 2 hours. So we'll take a $5, come back. We'll keep working on customs. That'll give that Mod Podge plenty of time to dry. And yeah. Oh, yeah, there's like slap your mother hot, slap your grandma hot, get punched by dad because your report card wasn't good hot. Like, they have so many stupid names. Where's Archer? Mother, grill me a cheese. Mother, grill me a cheese. Now it's a party. All right, guys, give me 5. I'm going to feed these dogs, let Snowflake out, and we'll meet back here. Let's see. Do I have a BRB? I can't access any of my settings over here because this thing is being so funny. Very bizarre. He is in the shower. All right, I'll be back, guys. Watch the frog. Come on, friends, let's go eat. Oh, I see. Okay. Come on. Let's see what it is. Yeah, she wants. I don't know why she wants the chips. She wants the chips. Miss Azriel. Hello, buddy. Yeah, man. All right. So I've returned with the elusive pink beans. These are rare. You said you're charging, what, $5.99 a minute to see these beans? Yeah. Say hello, everybody. Oh, go play. Oh. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely true, my friend. No. No, we don't flick some flakes, bean. Pardon me. Where you going, baby? You going up there? There you go. Go play. What a silly cat. So it looks like the Mod Podge is still drying on there. So we'll give that a couple more minutes. Don't need any more Mod Podge, so we can put that away. Yeah, she has wonderful toe beads. And still working on a kinks out of it. So we looked at colorways the last time, and since this browser now wants to compete with me with everything I do, I'm not going to pull up another another browser window. What I'm going to try, if I get kicked out, I will open a new window, and I do apologize. Give me 1 second here. But, task manager. Let's manage some tasks. Interesting. Weird. Thing says I have Google Chrome open 17 times, which leads me to believe something is wrong. But I digress. That's later Famine's problem. So we looked at some different colorways. I think I was leaning towards the blue and orange at Galaxy's Edge. Ow. That was inspiring. But with the onset of that, I have the logo, right? The logo that's on the shirt, the rusty Jackalope Provisions Company. Anybody who's not familiar, in the Wild West, provision companies were essentially your general store. They would get things in, if it was a mining town, they'd be more likely to get in things like shovels, pickaxes, things like that. If it was more of a gambling town, they'd get booze in, things like that. So that's what a provisions company is, and that's the cover that Famine uses in the world to do his go-betweens. If he's a provisions company and he's providing items that get delivered to and from for the local businesses, and he's constantly working with local, maybe ne'er-do-wells, but also good people, moving products around, people that just want to get things moved from one place to another. He takes care of it. So this is basically the front of his business in town. And so I want it to kind of jive pretty well with the logo. The logo has pink and red in it. So I'm pink, red, and brown, and white. So I'm thinking maybe we do a black primer over the whole thing. Again, that's like my jam. Black primer over the whole thing. And then we lean towards I want to say like a reddish brown, like a brown that's closer to red. And then we do a white tan stripe around the building. Maybe we'll mask off some different letters in Arabic or something like that around it to break it up. Because I will be putting a sign, that says Rusty Jackalope Provisions Company, or just has the jackalope over the door. Haven't decided yet. But yeah, we can start now with the black. We can do some more chatting. This isn't something that requires me to really show much on the camera other than the color and the paintbrush that I'm using. So we get some black paint. And I'm just using regular folk art matte black paint or licorice paint. Yeah, this one's licorice. I'm certain by 1,000% that somebody could tell you the difference by looking at it. It's just not me. Black and licorice look the same to me. I just work here though, so you guys can explain to my boss why the colors don't match. Yeah, I'm not going with the Gulf color scheme. It was more of a warm orange and a cool blue instead of that like pumpkin orange and blue, like royal blue. But not sweating it right now. Not going to worry about it too much because things can change. I may get some ideas while I'm working here. Yeah. This one's probably closer to the blue. But again, you give me matte black or matte licorice and honestly, it'd probably take me a while to spot which one was which, and I'd probably be wrong which one was which, but I digress. All right, so just going on here with this black, like I said, or licorice. If you're following at home and want to make the exact same thing, I don't know why you would, but more power to you. Just, feel free to make some creative changes. Embrace your own creativity. Come up with your own ideas, your own color schemes. But yeah, you certainly ain't nobody stopping you from priming in the color black like I do. Just going to put some of this thicker globs of paint over here so I can work them to the next direction that I'm working. But just putting that on there. And again, people messaging me. Most people I know are in this room right now, so I don't. Okay. So, 375. I don't know if you're still chilling in the shower or not. Are you going to be working on anything tonight? Not complaining. Softcore vibes. Oh, we can do that. I could ask you why I'm being pulled over. Probably. And I could dry brush white over this when I'm done. I just do a darkest color first and work my way up to light. That's how I paint. I'd love to change the music. Absolutely would. However, for whatever reason, this browser is fighting me with everything I'm doing here. Yeah, it's been very strange. I did the updates. I think I was complaining yesterday about that. I did the automatic update that it kept harassing me for and then forced me into. And since then, my computer's been acting a little funny. Not like funny like a clown, like it amuses me. But I was told that this modeling agency is where I could go to get ahead. No, miss, you misheard. It's where you come to get head. Sorry. Cinemax. I had it. Soccer Mom Pillow Fight 3. Hey, you have a good night. Way better than Pillow Fight 2. And then they brought the girl back with the giant pillows. Okay. And I'm not being too precious around this little air conditioner unit because, like I said, I'm probably going to paint that again and give it, give it a little more of a metallic look to it. Made sure that the paint gets right up and touches the edge. That when I do paint it, it still has that little tiny crease of dark shadow that helps convey that there is, age there. Hey, you have a good night. I don't know if you guys have, they used to be on YouTube. I wonder if they were taken down, but they were called, they were James Gunn little shorts that he had directed, and they were called PG Porn. And they starred like mainstream actors and a couple of adult film actors and actresses. And there was one with Nathan Fillion called Nailin' Your Wife. And it was one of the funniest things that I've ever seen. do recommend if you get the opportunity to watch those. They're very funny. Don't go now. Like, don't. You can't go now. Like, but after the stream, check it out. But yeah, James Gunn, PG porn. I think Sasha Grey was in one of them. Nathan Fillion was in Nailing My Wife. That one, very funny. All right. And see, I pulled those, like I said, I pulled those bigger splotches of paint over to the edge so that I could just carry them over. And right now I'm just passing over some of the brush strokes, breaking them up, even though there's so much texture, it probably won't show. I'm just trying to break up those lines. Also help this cure a little bit quicker. And also 375, if you catch the replay of the continuation of where you left, thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate you hanging out on this lovely Friday night. It is cold as shit outside. Here is 28 degrees. And it's very humid outside. So that's pleasant. I don't know if it's supposed to rain. There's no precipitation for the next 2 days, so that's good. I'll take that. Yeah, I miss when directors made like weird little indie projects like that. I know now, and it sucks that the two I'm going to reference, the two that, were my favorites was James Gunn, PG porn, comedy ones, and then Joss Whedon's Dr. Horrible sing-along blog. And I miss just weirdo little projects like that these directors used to make and produce on their own time. And like Nathan Fillion, he did his own Uncharted fan film. Like, just like people taking money and having fun with it. Tom Jane did a really good Punisher fan film of his Punisher called Dirty Laundry. And it's got Ron Perlman in it. Check that out. It's short. It's like eight or 9 minutes long. Very enjoyable. But like I miss when people used to do that. Max Landis, he did, the Life and Death of Superman or the Death of Superman, where he narrated that. He's been actually writing the Kryptonian epic, which was going to be his continuation. Parts of it were going to be his continuation of the American Alien story. And yeah, it's very, very fascinating, like what people used to do on their own time, and they're able to, and then they get, significantly larger in Hollywood, and then can't or don't. Maybe they don't have the time. I don't know. But I miss shit like that. And that was one of those cool things too, is like somebody loved their character so much that they, without saying it and without what's the word? Without breaking copyrights, they worked on things and made things for free that people could enjoy, that showed their love of characters that they worked on, or showed their love of like funny things that they just wanted to make with their friends. I know Kevin Smith did a couple of shorts for The Tonight Show when Jay Leno was there, and one of them was with Dante and Randall, called The Flying Car. I think it's included as a bonus feature on one of the DVDs. I cannot remember for the life of me which Viva Skew DVD it's on, but that was on YouTube for the longest time. It is one of the funniest shorts that I've ever seen. And it's literally Dante and Randall stuck in traffic arguing over the flying car. And of course, in classic fashion, Randall's got to make it so damn difficult for Dante to just answer the question. And it's very funny. It's one of my favorite things that he's done. Again, these like weird little short things that people do and have fun with characters that they love or they played. Good stuff. I miss it. Maybe I'm missing, if there's anything that you guys out there recommend, as far as fan films that people have made or been involved in that are, famous or semi-famous, famous writers, actors, and it's just like their pet projects. Sound off. Let me know, because, me, I always like to go and watch things like that and check things out. The Guild. What is the Guild about? Tell me a little bit. Share with the class, if you will, about the Guild. Oh, and also, what was it, during COVID? A bunch of people did the shot-for-shot remake of The Princess Bride, like at home with their cell phones, and it was a bunch of actors and actresses from big movies, big names. That was fun. Oh, right. Yes. I never watched The Guild, but I like Felicia Day and the way she's put together. So yeah, I have vague memories of what you were talking about. And we don't gatekeep here. So your nerd card is damage free, my friend. You are free from nerd damages. Not nerve damage. I don't know if you have any nerve damage. I'm not a doctor. I can't say you're free from that, but your nerd credibility is still intact. Pack it up. Pack it up. Your nerd card's intact. I don't know about, at home now. Hey, in my defense, in Anthony's defense, yeah, Supernatural is a good show. I never got into Doctor Who until, I guess you would say, this year. I had seen plenty of episodes, but it just never really resonated with me. And Blood Honey Sin, she started rewatching it again. And so I sat down and started watching episodes with her. And, now I'm like invested. Nice, Bjorn. Like, do you whip that out at places, or do you carry it around at work? Like, what is it, just a funsy thing, or is it something you and your buddies have, like a challenge coin? What's the scoop on that? Carry it in your wallet all the time. It's not for everybody. I know why I didn't like it when I was younger, and now that I'm older and away from the crowd that made it annoying, I absolutely understand it. But yeah, there was like that feral Doctor Who craze that swept America 5 or 6 years ago, again, because Doctor Who being in the States was nothing new, but like it just seemed like it was a really weird time, and there were people that were like super fascists about which Doctor was the best and which Doctor was what, and the writers and all. It was a whole thing, and it made it seem uncomfy and unwelcome to me. And when I watched those episodes, it was like watching with a bunch of rabid fans. And challenge coin. I've got one in that drawer over there. It's essentially a coin that everybody gets in a group, usually in military or firefighters, things like that, vocational type things. And you all carry your challenge coin, and it, has information on it. Maybe it's your club or your fire department or whatever, or your military branch, your group of friends, and you keep it in your pocket. And when you go out, and then somebody brings, somebody pulls out their challenge coin and slaps it on the bar, and the last person to get their challenge coin out and put it on the table, they have to pay for drinks, things like that. Also, you trade challenge coins with like other groups. So, say some of the G.I. Joe guys had a challenge coin, and we're at a convention and we're all hanging out. Their chapter president. It's that type of shit, like where you trade, kind of like trading patches for fire departments and stuff. But yeah. But yeah, no, now that I'm older and, watching it with somebody who. No, I would commiserate with my friends and make the highest rank pay the tab. No, you get the bigger paycheck, buddy. You're going to pay for the drinks, sir. Or ma'am. Although I've been told, I don't know how true this is, if Dom was here or somebody who is in service currently, they can attest to this. Female drill instructors can choose whether to be referred to, and I believe it's in the Marines and Navy, they can choose to be referred to as sir, as part of the naval code. I know police departments will do that too. If there's a female police chief that wants to be referred to as sir, I guess that's a thing. What was it in Band of Brothers? Never put yourself in a position to take from them. I'm a firm believer in that. If I'm put in a position of leadership or whatever, I'm not going to take from people that are lower on the totem pole than me, because that's just shitty. Even if it's funny. Even if it's just like a cover of beers or something. Okay. Yeah, which I think is cool. I know in sci-fi they were in actual like science fiction they were doing it before it was adopted in the mainstream. And again, I'm just making sure I get in all the little corners and all the creases and stuff, so when I start putting paint down and weathering and stippling, that all those deep creases where I know I'm not going to mash the paint down into or the weathering powder into, creates that shadow effect that you want. I mean, I'll address anybody or whatever the hell they want to be addressed as, sir, ma'am, drill sergeant, drill instructor, chief, sergeant, whatever the rank is. I used to be real good at reading the rank bars. I know they haven't changed much, but my attention to it has certainly dropped. Oh, no shit. Cool. That's cool. and very much in like a chain of command setting. I'm just saying, look, okay, you want me to call you whatever, I'll call you whatever. That's, you know, as long as that's what we've agreed upon, and you don't want, you're not going to penalize me for following your instruction. Call you whatever the hell I want, or you want, not what I want. Yeah, buddy. Oh, I got a. I had mentioned that I was going to be picking up another Navarro Cantina. Some of you guys in the chat last week, I did wind up picking up another one, and that arrived today. So I've got two. So I technically have the full set. I'll probably order a third one next week or the week after, just to have the extra pieces and have, you know, 3 walls, extra doors. I'm gonna gussy them up. You know me. Nothing gets to stay plain and, you know, out of the factory box and Gimmick. So we'll get in there. We'll weather it. We'll add some decor to the bar walls. We'll make some backer walls for it out of foam, I'm sure, just to give it, you know, some more height on the walls. Really get the most out of that playset. And before I Google it later, Major Pain. You guys remember that movie? What did the kids go to boot camp for? Was it a corrective action boot camp or something like that? I cannot remember what that was for. Because I felt like the little guy, he wasn't like a troublemaker kid at all. I can't remember. Since we're talking about TGIF, and that came out right around that time. And yeah, everything get bashed, stripped for parts. I feel like I'm running a chop shop when it comes to toys. And technically I am. That's like what I do. Just tearing toys apart, taking pieces off of it, stripping it down, running its pockets, seeing what's inside of those, taking its pager. Unless it really is a sacred cow, then I'm not going to take its pager because, you know, it's got cow business to take care of. I don't want to stand in the way of cow business. I don't know about you. All right, look at that. Okay. Coming up on that being pretty damn dry. See? Cows are doing cow business, you leave them right alone. Boy, this thing is... Oh, you're enjoying this? Of course you would. There we go. Sometimes you just gotta hit it on the ass a few times and make the fun stuff come out. I'm going to clip that into a reel and put it, or a short, a YouTube short, put that in the video. People will be like, oh my God, I can't believe you said things like that. I spanked the goo out of it. Now, Snowflake, the door's open enough for you to get in. I can hear you meowing. Hey, Bjorn. You have a good night. Thank you for coming in. Enjoy the stream. I'm glad that you enjoyed the stream if you did. And if you watched the replay, thank you. I like to believe that Snowflake is, very smart. But sometimes I think she forgets that I'm in here, ma'am. So I don't know. Ha! Think I've outsmarted the browser. There's that link for anybody that wants to pick one of these up. Oh, goodness. I'm probably going to have to, run an antivirus check on here or something. This is so bizarre. Okay. Now I'm just really starting to pay attention to where I'm getting the paint, making sure that it's in between all the ridges and that all the wood that's exposed gets painted as well as the foam that's been Mod Podged, which will help. And I'm also pulling any excess paint out of the little gaps here, because you don't want a giant pool of paint to sit there and it'll take forever to cure. And then when you go to dry brush over it, that skin that you make bursts and then it drags through the paint and then it's a whole thing. You got to repaint it again. So just take the extra time to make sure. That's what I recommend. That's what old Famine is throwing out there for you tonight. Take your time on painting things, even when you're doing a coat of primer. Because the whole point of priming is to make sure that the paint has something to adhere to, even more so than the base, and also to do things like this where you take care of those issues so you have an easier time a little bit later. Wow. Do it. Try it. I was gonna have an adult beverage tonight, and I decided no, I'd stay fresh away from the adult beverages while I'm streaming tonight. I don't know why. I just decided. But if anybody's enjoying a adult beverage, I hope you're enjoying responsibly, and if you are, let me know what it is, because I'm just curious and nosy. And before Bjorn asks, chocolate milk is an adult beverage. And really liking the way that this is looking here. Adult gummy legally. Buddy, if it was illegally, I wouldn't care. Because that type of legislation against that particular thing is stupid. But nice. Delta Vape sounds like the name of a synthwave artist. Or like a retro designing women inspired cover band of synthwave music. If anybody got that designing women reference, I applaud you. Snowflake, I'm in the room. Come on in here, you big goofy cat. Yeah. All right. Oh. I can clean that off later. I got a little bit on the glass. Designing Women was on after Murphy Brown. Yep. And then Night Court was on after the news, if my memory serves me correctly. And now Night Court is back on TV, and Murphy Brown had a reunion. I don't know if it's still on the air. Yep, those were my mom's TV shows that she used to watch when we had a television, because it was on, regular over-the-air TV that you could get with an antenna for free. Yep. That's one of those shows that it was quite popular, right? Murphy Brown and Night Court, both of those shows were popular. And like, they were popular shows, but it didn't seem like they had the same lasting impact that Golden Girls had. And that's fascinating to me. And like, I love Golden Girls. I adore Golden Girls. I'll never be watching TV and see the Golden Girls and be like, nah, I'm not going to watch. I will watch the Golden Girls every damn time. Whereas, like, if I see Designing Women, we're like, oh shit, is that Delta Burke? Blah, blah, blah. I remember this episode. Oh, neat. And then keep moving. Same with Night Court, although Night Court really didn't have any replays except for, I think, Nick at Night for a little while. And it wasn't super popular, so they didn't stick with it. It was one of those shows that was kind of on there and then gone. I'm curious about anybody else's experiences with those shows. Because again, like, they were popular shows at their time. I'm surprised that there's a Night Court reunion, but seems like that's all the rage now, is to get the older people back. And I say older people with every line of respect that you could possibly give for that. They get that's probably got something to do with it. Major Dad. Yep. But like, they get the old band back together and they do the TV reunion, like Frasier. I just don't think it's the same. I haven't watched it. Full disclosure, I haven't watched it, but I feel like it wouldn't be the same for me to watch it without the dad. But people got real excited over that, and I think it's cool that people that want to watch it get to watch it. Like, what a time we live in. All right. I do see where I missed a little bit, so I'm going to go around here and paint this. Yeah. It's like if you explained to people today, people, I say young people, oh, Jesus Christ, Famine, you're 37, you're not old. You explain to some kid today, hey, number one, most television used to be free. Number two, the most popular TV shows were free television shows, and it was an event to watch it on television when it aired, or you'd have to wait to hope that the show was syndicated to catch the episode that you missed. And people would like talk about the episodes. They didn't binge it, like it was a totally different time, totally different structure for how they measured success of TV shows. And like, if you sat down and told them that, I feel like a lot of them wouldn't believe you. Which I'm not knocking that everything's available at the fingertips for them. I think that's, got its perks. That's like effing amazing. And I benefited from it too. But like at the same time, for me, that's totally wild. The idea of, being able to just tell somebody, oh yeah, it's like, kid, the meme that goes around where the girl's like, oh, I told kids that I had to pay, or person, I shouldn't say girl, the person that said that they told their kids that they used to have to pay by the word for text messages, and the kids didn't believe them. And it's like, I think about that and I'm like, yeah, that's right. Text messages used to cost like 10 cents a word, and phone calls were free after 9 for whatever reason. You had minutes for your call. My grandmother's still fucking minutes on her phone. Won't switch to a plan. Drives me up a tree. Nice. But yeah, I remember like Thursday Domination when Friends was the number 1 rated sitcom on television. And yeah, Seinfeld was another one where like the ratings were huge and discussions on the news, and how they negotiated their contracts, things like that. Now it's like, if a show doesn't immediately take off and go viral on Netflix, they just pull it from the streaming service and it goes away. Like, you don't give things time to get discovered and to catch its breath and to develop and build a fan base. I still am beside myself. I'm not even a fan of it, but that show, Our Flag Means Death, meant so much to so many people, and it was a popular program too that people paid HBO for, and they shit-canned it, canceled it. Same with Westworld. Yes, the ratings slipped a little in the last season, but they nuked that too, and I'm sad about that. I loved Westworld. I was in it to win it, and there's a couple episodes in season 2 that I need to finish, and then I need to work through season 3. But since they took it off HBO streaming, and I'm not watching it on Tubi or whatever they fucking put it on for free, Roku channel, whereas it's for free, but there's all these commercials. I'll buy it on physical disc. I know it's out there. I know it exists, or I'll pirate it. There we go. Okay, so that's gonna dry. Nice. Cool. Yeah, I remember getting those discs all the time. And you have to create a new username and go through the whole process again. And then finally they released AOL Instant Messenger for free. You can have that. The good old days. And another thing I saw kicking around was the people nostalgic for when the internet was just a place that you went to. Like, you sat down at your computer at home and it wasn't with you all the time. And that's a very interesting point, very fascinating point that it is with us all the time now. And yeah, Amazon, I'll get me started. Amazon having the nuts, the balls, and I won't say the uterus because they're weak and shitty and they've made, that's why I'm saying the balls, to go ahead and say, unless you pay an additional $2.99 for Amazon Prime, you get to watch all your shows with commercials. Nobody, that's one of the perks of Prime. Like, you guys make money hand over fist. How much more fucking money do you need? Damn, and the answer is more. More money. Shouldn't have to pay to watch commercials. Also shouldn't have to pay to not see commercials if you already pay for a streaming service, because that's part of the perks of streaming services. And that whole password sharing that you can't do, fuck out of here. That used to be one of the principles that Netflix ran on, was that, people sharing their passwords was a love language and blah, blah, blah. I think it's, preposterous what they ask. You can't share it with somebody. Now Hulu's cracking down on that. Fortunately, I don't share an account with anybody, although I do share my Disney Plus from time to time. My buddy wants to log in and see an episode of, Mandalorian or whatever, which I get that they're trying to milk money for sponsors and programs and products and stuff, but it's like, if I'm a family and I pay for a subscription to Disney Plus and my kid goes away to college, and that's our bonding thing, is we watch that episode of that show and blah, 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 and I'm already paying for fucking college and all that stuff, and I'm paid for this subscription service, which in theory entitles me to 4 streams at the same time. My kid should be able to use the same one that I have. Is that a controversial opinion? I don't think it is. I don't think it should be either. I'm just rambling. Old rambling, fambling. Trying to get some of this. I wiped the super glue container off earlier to get some of the glue off the nozzle, and I guess I left behind paper towel on here. And it's just like soggy and goopy, which is weird to me. That's probably not a good sign, but also because I put the cap on is probably why it didn't cure. Yeah. So let's see here. So we've got that drying up there, curing. Goodness, we got that drying up there. We did good. We got Greebly on there. We got a couple things. Let's start thinking about what's going to go on the roof that will be removable. I have this. I already sanded and primed it. Thought about making it like a generator / broadcast tower / like air conditioner unit, like an environmental machine, right? Handles the broadcasting, it handles the temperature control, and also maybe it's a moisture evaporator too, so it provides fresh water for drinking and cooling inside the store. So what I want to do is get, first I want to get a coat of paint on it. Because it's on the roof. Yeah, medication commercials too, man. Goddamn. Like, I understand that, they help people. Medications help people, but some of these things you hear about it, and it's like it's that stand-up comedy. The side effects are worse than the disease. And I get that, one side effect reported has to be recorded and said out loud, but goddamn, some of them are like, oh, anal bleeding. Like, fuck. Like, I'm just taking a look at some ideas for rooftop sci-fi. Yeah, white and orange. Timbo, how's it going, my friend? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I'm going to do, I think, white and orange. So I'm going to, like I tell Bjorn, I'm going to sneak up on this color here. Although I'm pretty sure I can go straight to white. We'll do country gray first, and then I'll jump to white. And I'm going to use a sponge. Which sponge do I want to use? Cut a piece of sponge here. Use my little palette that I've got right here for paint. I use a little plastic plate, and the paint comes right off. Very good decision. Okay. So we're going to go. Okay. Okay. Taking most of that paint off the sponge so I get some nice effect. And then I'm just taking this gray, bringing this down here a little bit. And I'll do this whole unit in this nice stippled gray, letting some of that black show through. It's going to add character, and like I said, it's going to be living on a rooftop, so it makes sense that this thing is kind of beat to shit looking, because weather, sandstorms on Gimmick. Yes, Darude Sandstorm plays as a weather warning. Oh. Sometimes my hands just stop working, and that was an instance where that just happened. Timbo, you working on anything tonight? I feel like I'm holding it up higher than the camera, even though I pointed it down. You're starting to get that stipple, built-up look. Looks like maybe chipped paint. Again, I'm just going over this whole thing with this gray. It's Country Gray by Apple Barrel. It is a cheaper acrylic paint. You can get it for like $1 or less at Walmart. Free if you have deep pockets. I'm kidding. Don't steal. This was an Apple Barrel product that I actually paid for in my own pocket. It wasn't one of the ones that was sent to me by Plaid, but some of the colors that I have were sent to me by Plaid, and that giant Mod Pod was also donated to me kindly by Plaid, so shout out to them for their contribution to this build. Working on custom cleanup droids. Yeah, how's that door coming? Late stage capitalism, stealing from megacorps. Yeah, no, I'm very much, if people shoplift, just make sure it's from corporations and not people. And if you see somebody stealing food, no, you didn't. Tuna, how we doing? Door's getting some trim. Nice. Trim up that door. Are you on the painting step yet, or are you just are you at the point where you're like making the trim to go on to the around the door, or however you're going to be applying that? Not a euphemism. Okay. Could be if you wanted it to be, though. Might get in there with a brush just to make... I could tear off a smaller chunk of foam. Giving this just a second quickie pass here. See, not too precious, but I am just making sure I get a little bit more coverage out of this before I switch it over to a lighter color and then a titanium white. Who's it? Bob Ross. That's how he says titanium white. He's doing all right. Greebly stage, nice. Alligator clip and a little sponge, chunk of sponge. And I'm just going to use that to get into these little cavities here where I can't really negotiate my fat fingers into the recesses that are present, just to ensure that I get the most coverage that I can. And I'm making sure to like turn the brush so I don't get the same pattern stippled on there over and over again. It's one of those things where my ebus catch I catch repeat patterns in things. Like if I see it on a movie prop, I can see like where they used the stamp and didn't rotate the stamp to make a difference. I can see, you know, like, oh, they used that roller for, you know, all the same pieces of leather because everybody's leather has that one weird crease in it there. Like just I immediately focus on that, and so I like to, you know, try and avoid making that in my stuff. And I'm sure that I don't do it as best as other people, but I'm learning and I'm applying these things to what I do. So as I get better at it, hopefully it'll show. But this was one of the best little tools that I made, and it is just a old paintbrush stick, a tiny drop of super glue, and then I put the alligator clamp on there and just used a pair of pliers to clamp it down. And I can use it to hold little things. I can stick it in a piece of foam to hold something in the air while I spray paint it, or let it dry. Very handy little DIY tool. I recommend, and you can get these clamps at the hardware store. Sometimes they're like made for wire, and other times they're like literally for this purpose. It's just different listings of what they are and how much they cost. So check, you know, the electronics department, ask for a set of alligator clamps, or also, you know, hit up the hardware section and look for these two. I would imagine that's where they would be. All right, so that's on there now. Cool. So we're going to switch now. Just set that little guy aside. Sort of cereal box, cardboard, and zip ties. Nice, 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 nice. It is an outlet box. It's a gang box. I paid $1.19 for it at the hardware store because it was missing a screw, because they come with that pre-threaded screw. So I bought 2 of them, and that's what I'm using it for. And you can also use these to make 1/1 scale. We're going to go quicker white instead of titanium white. But you can also use them to make 1/1 scale props. And yes, tackle boxes are cheaper, and they are more useful because they've got those sweet built-in dividers. Curse you, titanium oxide. Okay, and I'll just dab this gray paint out of here. See, I've recently fallen in love with having uniform containers. I guess that's like what happens when you you get older, you start to fantasize about having matching toolboxes and tool sets in your garage, even though I know they don't need to match. But I like to have my container sizes uniform and matching. So I genuinely would pick them up new if that were the case. But you're not wrong that they are cheap at yard sales and stuff. And sometimes you get fishing things with them. And there are some lures out there that collectors have. They don't even fish with them. They just purchase the lures because they were like all hand painted and really nice artwork. See, that's starting to look like it's got depth of color. It's, you know, seen some shit as it goes weather-wise. But yeah, I've seen people purchasing lures for ridiculous amounts of money. And I say ridiculous because in my head, you know, fishing lures are $5 or $6. I remember my grandfather warning me not to lose lures because they were a $6 lure. And in my head, I'm like, $6 is nothing. You could buy them, you know, 10 of them, not realizing that it was a $6 lure back when he was 18 years old. You know, he bought that when he was a kid and paid that money. Like, that was expensive. Just he never communicated that to me until finally one day I asked. And he was like, oh yeah, I got that when I was, you know, I'd skip school and go fishing with so-and-so until the nuns caught on. My grandfather, that man didn't fear much. He feared about two things, God and nuns. And he used to skip school to go fishing until one of the nuns found out, and then he never skipped school to go fishing again. Because they whooped the shit out of him. You know, back in the good old days when they could beat you in school. The kids had to learn. But yeah, the nuns here were very big on corporal punishment, and it's very bizarre that man, like I said, he didn't fear anything but God and nuns. That dude did not like nuns. Jesus. All right. There we go. All for $1. Thanks, Timbo. And we had a thing going earlier. It's still going. If you donate a Ko-Fi tonight, I donate treats to the pets. Good way to reward them for being awesome. And it's a fun way for people to contribute to the channel and know that the critters are getting something delightful. They're going to get treats anyway. It's kind of like me, you know, nice way to politely talk about the Ko-Fi without, you know, making it weird. Because times are tough for everybody, but also, you know, if you like supporting artists, support your artists. Also, I have shirts. I did drop a link in the chat. There's also a link in the description below this chat. And one of the shirts is actually the name of this building that it's going to be, the Rusty Jackalope Provisions Company. So I mean, just pimping myself out there. And if you do donate to the Ko-Fi, it helps out the channel. It really does. The little things help, you know, cover the cost of stuff. We get we do get our streaming service taken care of by the WMC patrons, which is awesome. But you know, this stuff does cost to do, even though I do it for cheap, and it helps make it a little easier for me to do the production on these videos and do these longer live streams. I'm not monetized by YouTube currently. Eventually I will be, but there is a Patreon coming out. I'm excited for some of the things that I'm going to be offering for patrons, and then some of the things that are going to be available on sale on the site. I'm building a website, and I'm going to have some exciting things that I've been brainstorming with people in the community. It's going to be stuff specifically for 118 world building, things that aren't out there readily available that I think people will get great value from. And, you know, that's what I hope I provide to you guys as a value of when I do these videos and tip videos, tricks, things like that. So that's my little spiel. Won't go on for too long about it, but yeah, the link is in the chat and the Ko-Fi thing is there. If you do, let me know, because I don't get an alert for whatever reason. So if you do donate a Ko-Fi, I'll pop in, check that, and then give these little guys a treat for being wonderful. Thanks, Timbo. Yeah, there's and I don't want to say it like this in this way, but there's a market for certain things in world building that nobody has approached, and I'm very excited to provide these things for the community and make it available at a super affordable rate. I'm not trying to become a millionaire off of this item, but it's going to be something that I'm offering to patrons, and you know, there will be variant versions that will be Patreon exclusive, and then there will be versions that are available after a certain amount of time for other people. I'm just excited, and I'm going to keep it low cost because I absolutely understand that it's hard out here for a pimp trying to make that money for the rent. And, you know, sometimes it's tough, but, you know, the cost that I'm aiming for is, you know, less than your once a day coffee or once a week coffee or whatever it is. I don't know how often people drink coffee anymore. I just work here. But it's a great way to contribute, and I'm excited about that. And you guys will be getting something for that. And then also I'll be making that available to people, you know, so people can purchase it and utilize it for their world building or art if they just want to use it for artwork. You know, it's one of those things that, like I said, it's out. The option is out there. Nobody's capitalized on it. Nobody's actively producing this thing. It seems like something that everybody does, and everybody asks each other questions. They're like, hey, you know, how do you do this? Where do you do this? I want to bring it to you in an accessible way while supporting the channel and supporting what I'm doing here, and hopefully it contributes to the value that I provide to you guys. And also liking the video and, you know, subscribing to the channel, turning on the bell notifications, commenting, all that stuff helps too. If, you know, you can't or don't want to donate to the channel, also completely understand that. But those little things that are free also help out. You can share it with a friend, share it with a family member, be like, hey, check out this weird guy. Listen to him babble for 3 hours about painting a building and making an air conditioner unit for the top of the roof. Look at him go. But yeah, there's my little tip for the day. As far as tools go to the hardware store, pick up some alligator clamps, and save your chopsticks from Chinese meal or a paintbrush. Cut the head off, slip it over, and use a pair of pliers to clamp that down. Tuna, how old are you, if you don't mind my asking? And if you do mind, I'm asking anyway. You don't have to answer me. But... And Red, yeah, EVA foam is the tits. I love EVA foam. Used it so much when I cosplayed, and then transitioned into using it with this stuff. And now I'm seeing other creators utilizing it. And I'm in no way saying that they got the idea from me, but seeing other people use it makes me feel validated. Like, yeah, that's right. We use EVA foam for this thing because it's really good. It's a good tool to use. Oh, look at that. Lord of Things here. Good morning, friend. I'll just say Guten Tag. So I can't remember the German word for morning. Right. So now I'm going to need some tape, painter's tape. We'll go with green painter's tape, not blue. I find that the green, Guten Morgen, correct? Ooh, look at me go. 37. Yeah, that is, grown-ups drink coffee. I like using green paint, especially on this acrylic stuff when it dries. It doesn't tend to pull the paint off as much as the blue does. The blue is like for more like latex house paint and stuff. There we go. But we've got that on there. I'm going to do an orange stripe on either side. So we'll do an orange stripe, and yeah. I think that'll look cool. Little science fiction, space industrial, and then we'll, drill a hole, put an antenna gravely up the outside, and Donka. We'll go ahead and add some hoses and cables that will just go in this little socket here, so it looks like maybe it goes through and down to the floor. But because this is going to be an item that sits up there and can come off, doesn't interfere with the playability of the set. But I can also put it on a different building and use it. And I'll use these gang boxes to make my rooftop generators for other buildings. So there we go. That's my little jam there. These are going to be my sci-fi environmental do-alls. When you, yep, I like the tabs, Timbo, because I don't want to show the inside. Like I don't need to utilize the inside for anything. It's just going to be a set down. So I like the tabs there. If I was going to paint the insides and like put something that glows or whatever in there, I'd certainly pop those off. And I just do it with Sharpie. I've always seen people do it with a Sharpie or a carpenter's pencil, just bang, 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 and they pop right out, just like you said. But yeah, I'll probably come up get a little, come up with a little logo. That'll be the company that makes these. And all right, so here's my lore in my head. I believe it was Plumbing Explained. If you're watching the replay, if you are in the chat room and you just haven't chimed in, which tabs are you talking about? These guys here? I want those. I like them. They look like feet. I'll put little fake like bolts or something on there. Again, so it looks like it's fastened on here. But here's my lure. I'll write this down on the post. I'll probably fine tune it a little bit, but when someone is setting up on a ready. All right. So when somebody's setting up on a new world, they often stop and talk to supply companies, and they get a wonderful generator that does a little bit of everything. It is an entire do-all for the homesteader that wants to set up on a backwoods planet. It picks up radio signals. It picks up wave signals for entertainment. It can help distill water. It has all the things that you might need, and it also provides energy, and you pay a flat rate, and then it goes from there. It is the finest in homesteading technology across the galaxy, and you'll often see these on buildings, especially in more rural planets where utilities aren't necessarily readily available when they get set up. Some people leave them on the roofs after they get utilities, and they kind of rust out and sit there, but other people, sell them off secondhand after modifications, and you'll always see they're so modifiable that people can do all of their own things and, just add extra antennas for longer range reach, or maybe they'll add extra power cables to run down to fuel their garage or charge up their vehicles. It's a wonderful thing, a wonderful tool. And like Thane says, it also does homework and does the dishes. How'd you know, Thane? How'd you know it does dishes? The wagon wheel is actually a broken wagon wheel is actually the logo that I've got for a shipping company. But that's a good idea. I think it's going to be a prairie, like a horizon with a prairie building or something. And it even cuts julienne fries from Ronco. I will say this, though. All the shit that man gets, the Ronco rotisserie, the best $10 at a yard sale I ever spent on this thing. Brand new. The woman had it priced for $20, and I was like, I'll offer her 10, see if she'll take it. And she's like, I will pay you to take this. She's like, it's just so big, it takes up space on my counter. I'm not strong enough to take it in and out of the door. I said, okay, great. You sure it works? She goes, if it doesn't, you come back. I'll give you $20 back too. So I was like, okay, cool. Brand new. I have done probably 20 turkeys and chickens in there by now. I've done pork chops for my grandmother in it. I did vegetables. I did stuffed jalapeno poppers in the fish basket on this rotisserie thing. I fucking love this thing. Perfect bird every time. Rotisserie, the way to go. Ronco knocked it out of the park with that one. I absolutely killed it. Excuse me. But I'm thinking either a Horizon, I'll do the orange stripe. Then maybe the logo will be like a planet with a ship coming off of it or something. I don't know. I'll brainstorm. Let's see here. So for this, here's a little tip I learned from you could one, that's hilarious. Number two, both. We fucks with both in this house at the same time in the same hole. That's a party. I learned this from Adam Savage, I believe it was. If not, it was Frank Ippolito. Take your tape before you put it on. Make sure there's no pet hair all over your shit. And just put it on your jeans and pull it off. This way you can put it on here and it won't super adhere to the surface, but it will be enough for you to stipple whatever color you want on here and peel it off without getting any major bleed through. But it also is way less likely to take the paint off of the surface. So that's another tip for you guys. I've used it before. I really like it. I'm hoping this paint's dry enough so I don't feel like a fool. But if it didn't, that's my fault and not the tape tricks. Oh man, sometimes you just got to stick two things in one hole and make it a party. Cream cheese and cheddar cheese. All right, so I can't. Yeah, look at that. I just put that on there and took it off to line it up again. Didn't take any of the paint off. And it's just you press it against your pants. I'm always wearing blue jeans. You can also use your apron. I used to paint with an apron on. And then I realized as an artist, all of my clothes that aren't like nice dress clothes are what's the word? Covered in fucking paint. I think that's one word. So I stopped giving a shit so much. When I paint orange, here's another tip if you didn't already know, and maybe somebody else can share if they did know. Is I put down yellow first. Since there's white here, which is what I would normally do, I do white, yellow, and then I come over it with the orange. This helps create a warmer orange tone, and you have to put less orange paint down. So, fluster a fish. That's what I'm here for. I've never seen it. Yeah, man. I'm a man who loves his jalapeno poppers, and I also don't necessarily need all that breading. I will admit I like them in bacon, but here's the rub. I'm probably gonna get my American card removed. It's turkey bacon, and yeah, I put that in there. Up. Anthony's making my dick a little hard here right now. Melt gorgonzola and cheddar into cream. Saute mushrooms with rosemary, red pepper, and salt. in olive oil. Add minced garlic at the end of the saute. Mix with the cheese blend and pour over bread. All right, it's not, white paint's not gonna be the only thing on this table if you keep this up. Oof, man. Excuse me. Got the vapors. My goodness. Thank you. Which tip? I mean, either or, but thank you. All right, so I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and use my little tool here. There's no reason not to continue to use this. So, and just as the did, and I'm just tapping that on there, and I'm going right to the edges. Maybe I'm a little gentler on the edges, but I'm going straight down, so I'm not worried about any bleed over. And if there is, fuck it. It's a generator on a rooftop in a frontier space planet, right? Offering sandwiches? No, just double stuffs. You make a barracuda? Okay. Now, if I was any sort of smart, which on occasion I've been told I am, I'll mask the other side and do the exact same thing on that side as well. So we got that yellow on there, which makes it a Gesundheit. See, I can do that joke too. All right, so let's do the other side too. Since on occasion I've been told I have good ideas. Again, cross the jeans one time. And I imagine these things are just manufactured like, you know, nonstop, right? These things just, everybody knows they're a popular item. And maybe there's other companies that make them too. So there's like, you know, Honda generators, and then you've got your, you know, your Toyota generator. I don't know who makes generators anymore. But you get my point. The idea stands. Now, see, you are a barracuda because you're over there involving anchovy paste in things that don't need anchovy paste, like anything. Nice. You have a good night, Timbo. Thank you for enjoying the stream, dropping in. Make sure you slap that like button in the ass on the way out if you haven't already. Nice. I've heard that about those, that gamma fuel from Amrak Spot. I hear that there's generators all over the place. And like I said, I just come straight down when I'm doing this. Yeah, but I don't know. Listen, when I have Caesar dressing, I get to pretend that I don't know there's anchovy paste in there. But the second you tell me there's anchovy paste in there, I get all meh. It's the same with Worcestershire sauce. It has anchovies in it, and so long as I forget that there's anchovies in it, I enjoy it. It's a mental hurdle for me and not necessarily a taste or texture thing. It's just anchovy paste. Yeah, but they have the dinosaurs that, the dinosaurs make the waste and then they turn it into fuel over on Amrak. Okay, so we've got yellow and yellow. And now I'm going to tap this clean. Well, just about as clean as I want it to be. This black paint is taking a bit to dry. I don't know if we're going to be able to get, colorway on there tonight, but we made a hell of a lot of progress tonight. But just calling that out now. Shake that up. And do I want to do this orange or do I want to do lava orange? I use the shitty acrylic paint. It fits more in the line of the manufactured. And it's not shitty paint, but it's, it's regular hobby paint or regular craft paint and not hobby specific paint. Go. And I'll put that right back in there. Put that right in there. On that thing. Put that yellow away too. Okay. The orange. And we'll start. Yep, waste to fuel management, which is, what you want in the world. More places should be into that and do that. And more places in the verse should do that. I think in Gimmick, the droids that clean up the streets, if a dinosaur or one of the giant megafauna animals makes waste on the streets, they clean it up and they dump it in the incinerator. And the incinerator generates free energy for businesses that are on the main strip and also helps power the starport and keep all the lights on the landing strip and everything running. Okay. And then we'll go like this here. Here. Come on. Here we go. That's one side, and now we'll do the other one. Oh. Either the Hammond T-Rex or this guy right here, just because I love the paint job that I did on him, how unique he is. They put a lot into the sculpt, a lot of details, and I just think he's really neat. And that's why he is somewhere where I can reach him at most times. But that Hammond T-Rex is really nice too, and also the 30th anniversary Red Rex. I love that goddamn thing. Thank you, my friend. Be well. Thanks for dropping in. Enjoy your breakfast. Okay, and you guys should tune in on Wednesdays to both Pirates and Lord of Thane's Whip Wednesdays. They have a great little stream going on over there on Wednesdays, like I said. And go in, show them some support, throw them a like, watch their videos, and participate in the chats like you guys do here with me. Always fun. Thank you very much. I really like this one. Okay. That's there. Yeah. Cool. I thought of Thesaurus for Christmas, waiting a leather working friend to give you scraps, make a saddle. That's awesome. I have a leather bag in the other room that I repurposed from a friend's purse for her Laura Croft cosplay. And it's very soft suede leather. And, you know, she had it for years for her Laura Croft cosplay, and then she gave it back to me. So I'm going to turn it into tiny saddles for some of the dinosaurs around Gimmick and a couple other odds and ends around the Starport. So, yeah. All right, stop fussing with that. I thought about, tempted to paint a white line here, or yellow line, or orange line. Goddamn. But I think I'm just going to keep it simple because then I can utilize this space for greeblies and stuff in the future to attach on there. So we'll make this the universal white and orange. That's this brand, this gang box. I have a couple more over there right here on the scrap bin, my plastics bin. And yeah, like I said, I'll have to come up with some kind of logo or like a lettering or whatever. Bjorn sent me a couple of pack rolls actually, and they're made from, I believe, felt and twine, and they were really cool, and I'm very appreciative for that. So I have those, and I also have pieces like this one up here that were cobbed off of other things that are like little bed rolls that I can have hanging on the sides of the saddle. I'm probably going to cast this. I'll make a silicone press mold for it, push it in, and then just cast these out when I want them to attach to the different saddles. So I've got that, and I've also got bags, pouches that I'm going to be press casting to attach to things. So I'm very excited about that. So with that, I do believe I am going to call it a night in a few minutes. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This has been a very fun chat, a very fun live stream. Super appreciative of everybody who dropped in. Thanks again, Audi, for the coffee, and the dogs really appreciated the treat and snorted the snowflake as she sat there and stared the dogs in the face and ate it, which is the cutest thing in the world. If you're new to the channel or you're watching the replay, you've made it this far, thank you so much. Be sure to like and subscribe for more of the content like this. There's a link to the Rusty Jackalope provision shirts down in below. They're on sale. Today is the 2nd of February. They're on sale for 2 more days. You guys can get them for $16 a pop. It's a hell of a deal for a shirt. I've also got Famine Studios shirts on there and coffee mugs, t-shirts, the whole shebang. You can also get other stickers. Feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. I am at Famine Studios X on Instagram, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the night. As always, you guys know I'm going to hear my voice is starting to go. I'm going to tell you to sweet me, and thanks, and I'll see you in the next one. Be well, guys, and catch us next Friday on World Maker Consortium. This was a weird night for me. I don't normally stream on Fridays. I stream live on Tuesdays. You get it, but we'll go back to the two sweet. There we go.